93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX. Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you are doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. A pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, INDY. Yes, sir.
Oh, the chicken! Double time!
Miles Turner.
Yeah!
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome in. Great to have you around on a Thursday. Tomorrow's show on the road, we're going to be at Whiskey Business off of Southport Road, around Emerson and Southport Road, Southside intersection right there. Zinc Distributing and Bud Light, your chance to take a shot at our shooting contest to situate yourself in to playing for $10,000 if you are good at shooting it. Tomorrow's your opportunity. You know we love Whiskey Business, certainly, at Southport and Emerson. So tomorrow's show on the road at Whiskey Business, Southport and Emerson with Bud Light beginning at 3 o'clock tomorrow. I'd love to see everybody out there with us because it is going to be fantastic. Hey, make sure you call Alan. I want to get Alan Karpick on here because the Boilermakers obviously play coming up tomorrow night. I want to get see if I can get Rob on tomorrow. Rob Blackman, Boilermaker Radio Network voice, but I want to get Alan on hopefully a little bit later on and discuss that Sweet 16 matchup with St. Peter's. The rest that is going to be going down in their particular bracket in the Sweet 16. TJ Wolf, the assistant coach at UCLA and former Martinsville Artesian, joined us yesterday, and we gave, or at least got, a little bit of info regarding the Bruins. Tomorrow night, UCLA, also in Philadelphia, they get Carolina. Tonight, everything is officially underway. Gonzaga and Arkansas, among the games that we'll be watching. Honestly, I'm glad that it's back. I've missed it. That's one thing that you gather, right? Especially when it was a weekend, or let's just say under these circumstances, Thursday through Sunday as it was. You get used to having that rapid fire stuff. I've missed it. And I love basketball. I'm still watching the Pacers. I know I watched the Pacers last night. Lost at home to Sacramento. As everybody will tell you, it was an entertaining loss. An entertaining loss, and if you were going to look like that you were trying to tank it and lose, I'm not suggesting that he did or they did. Surely they did not. No way, shape, or form. But that Buddy Hield turnover there at the end where he just kind of dribbled the ball out of bounds, it kind of looked like that a little bit. But again, as I've told you, don't worry about it. These guys just aren't going to be good enough to really do too much damage to it. I mean, you combine that with the lack, and I mean absolute lack of blockouts. Like, yeah, go ahead, Damon Jones, put this back up. That was that. So I know that's the first thing. And you guys all tweeted me last night. Well, that's how you tank. That's how you tank right there. That's how you rescue defeat from the jaws of victory. I'm sure it didn't go down that way. But man, you could not be more elementary in turning the basketball over. I mean, you go back to 1982 in the national championship game when Fred Brown threw it to James Worthy. I mean, there's some confusion there. That was like bad too. But that last night was pretty bad. There's no doubt about that. So Pacers back at it coming up later on tonight on the road in Memphis. I will say this, even without John Morant, everybody, even without John Morant, That Grizzly team is fun to watch. Desmond Bain shout out. Seton Catholic over by Richmond in the eastern part of the state. Just a week before last, I believe, he was here in town. Putting up numbers, playing well. The Grizzlies, and again, you're not going to have a rooting interest in the postseason, and that sucks. If you're looking for a good, solid Western Conference rooting interest, the Memphis Grizzlies could be it for you. They are very enjoyable to watch. So we can have a little Pacers. Again, Pacers, Grizzlies coming at you tonight. That pregame show, I believe, is underway at 7:30. And 8 o'clock is the tip. Dive back in if you guys want to. If you don't want to, I completely understand. Regarding Dane Fife being let go, we talked about that yesterday because the news broke as we were doing the show. Seems like everybody is kind of lined up to be pro-Dane or anti-Dane here. I'm always going to be pro-Dane, always. Seems like everybody, well, this is why, and everybody's justifying it. I like Dane, and I'm always going to support Dane. That's that. That is that. So, we'll see. Ultimately, while it really stinks, because what it does do, it does divide. Now, all you got to do to win games is to put everybody back together again. But it does divide. It does divide. You're talking about somebody that most people assuredly liked a great deal. Now that they're being talked into or brainwashed about how bad somebody is in terms of, well, this is what he didn't do, and this is what he didn't do, and this is why. I mean, really all you have to do is come out and say, well, the head coach seems to be pretty sensitive to it, and this thing wasn't working, so see ya. And I'm sure everything else will come out. That's really all you have to say. All right, we decided to go a different direction. And then you decided to write out that press release yesterday that we went over to. So if you guys want to hit that, you certainly can. But you know where I'm always going to stand. And listen, I'm not anti-Mike Woodson. I've not been anti-Mike Woodson. But all this ends up doing, and I guess you can blame, if you want, Woodson and Dolson, the Dolson nudge, for all this if you want, but it does divide. Now, they'll go out, I'm sure, and get a recruit or something like that, and everybody will start to be back in love again, and then you'll see what they do in the season next year, and if they win, all will be forgotten because Dane will get a gig someplace else. And if you win, and that's that. Yeah, but right now, you can see it if you pay attention to it. It does divide. And there is nothing out there, at least more. You look at Purdue, there's not much division there. They got everything heading in the right direction. And then at IU, there just seems like that there's a soap opera. When I asked Rabjohns that there yesterday, he said, no, not a soap opera. Then at the end of the conversation, I said, well, this sounds like a pretty deep soap opera. Like Days of Our Lives writers are sitting around going, wait a minute, maybe I'll use this one in the storyline coming up in June. It very much seemed like a soap opera. So it causes division, and it causes some to put up their hands and go, yeah, you know what, same old IU basketball program that I've certainly gotten used to. And much like the Colts situation here, you can do a lot of things and everybody can feel good about it, but you're really not going to change an opinion if it's negative until what? Until you see them play. That's it. You got a lot of time until they win. And that winning certainly cures a great deal. So if you guys want to talk about that, we can at 239-1070. Also, Matt Ryan, it was finally... Now, this is something I actually asked him on Tuesday when he joined the show, and I made the mistake. I asked it in a two-parter, and he just neglected to answer that part of it. I should not have asked it in a two-parter. You got to go back and listen and go, hey, you know what? Maybe I should have done that. I always get everything that I want to ask, but when I framed it up in the fashion in which I did, and I'm sure he probably wouldn't have answered it anyway, but I should have at the very least split it up and went this question and that question, but I asked it with a two-parter, and if memory serves, Kyle, he did not answer that particular part of it. But good. It was not as much as I think what people initially thought in monetary savings, cap space-wise, for this team. Where are they at cap-wise right now? So we can continue to chase all these free agents that ultimately they never end up signing in the first place.
They have $21.8 million in cap space.
So we thought that they were going to have 26 is what we had talked about. Was that Ballard on the McAfee show where we heard that? Or did I just make that up?
I think he said that they're going to restructure it. I don't know if
I know that I didn't make it up. There was a reason why I wanted to ask him that. Because Ballard did tell McAfee that they were going to restructure. Where did I come up with that number? Because I was like $6 million off.
I think that was just the number that was floating.
Yeah, maybe
Twitter.
so. Maybe it was just the number floating. Maybe I just made it up. I don't think I made it up because I'm not good with numbers. If I'm going to make something up, it's not going to revolve around numerals because I'll screw that up really quick. And we'll see if at all they decide to do anything with it. Again, we'll follow this as we always have. It is incredibly important that you find others to come in here to help him. Everybody's living in the moment. Everybody has that new, fresh feeling, and I don't blame you. It's a feel good, and you haven't felt good in a while. And let's face it, you haven't felt good. Colts fans haven't felt good since Wentz hit Patman in the back of the end zone on Christmas night for the game winner against the Cardinals. That's the last time anybody felt good around here. Right? Because they started off slow against the Raiders, got back into it, gagged that game up at home, and then the Jacksonville debacle altogether. So you guys haven't felt good since that pass play. I'm glad that you feel good. I said yesterday, feel good about it. But you can't sit on your hands and, oh, you know what, we're a little bit strapped and there's just not a lot out. You better come up with something. Because we're going to double back to the quote of, we like our guys. Meaning we like our wide receiving core. And you might like them. I liked them too. I like Zach Pascal. I like Ashton Doolin. I like TY Hilton when he was here. I like those guys a great deal. That does not mean that's going to help you out with your 37-year-old quarterback that has re-sparked the interest around here. Not at all. So if not in free agency, and if you put your hands up and do what you normally do, you better figure this thing out another way. It's a have to. That is a have to. We have a lot of have tos in life, don't we? Get a lot of have tos. What's your have to? Like my have to, I take Blake to school every morning and try my damnedest to keep him on time. I think twice this year. Once I got behind a wreck and I forgot to call the front office. I probably could have saved him from that. And the other time, I think that was just on me. So I have to get him to Roncalli on time. And now, because he's got 2 strikes, the third one means he's got to join the Breakfast Club with John Bender and the rest of the Breakfast Club. 3. I know. I would have been done like in the first week. I don't think I ever got to Eastern on time. It got to the point where I had a girlfriend back in high school and her mom said, you know what, you can't ride with this clown anymore because he never gets there on time. I'm much better with that today, by the way. Other than the 2 times. The two strikes. 2 strikes. So I'm hosting this thing that they're doing, this fundraiser coming up on the 30th of April, and I'm hoping that because of with my incredible generosity with my time, right? I'm hoping we can erase one of those strikes because this puts a lot of pressure on a guy. Like when I'm thinking it's like 7:09 and okay, Casey's General Store or getting on time, I don't know here, buddy. I don't know. But yes, we all have have tos. That is a have to certainly now for me. And in terms of the Colts and Chris Ballard, it's a have to find your quarterback some help. It's just a generalized statement here. I don't have the answer. I would say anybody that is capable of producing. I'm not going to hold my breath on staying healthy because last year was better, even though you missed guys via COVID protocols and such. But in the short-term past history, you just kind of sit back and you wait for somebody to be injured. It's like you sit back this time of year and wait for Chris Ballard not to really go at free agency too much because of his blueprint or process or whatever. This is a have to. An absolute have to. Give this guy some help. If you believe this guy can win the AFC South for you, Tennessee got their guy some help. I mean, they already had their guy in the fold, but their guy failed miserably in the postseason. And it's funny, they felt the same way about their quarterback position after that playoff loss. I mean, think about that. The 1 seed, and you're at home, and screwing the pooch. Done. So they felt the same way down there about their quarterback situation as most of you have felt about this one up until 3 days ago. What did they do? John Robinson did go out and he added, and I'll say cheaply added. I don't know if Austin Hooper is like Dave Casper Jr. or Tony Gonzalez. I don't know if he's that. But it certainly couldn't hurt. Probably will help. We'll see if Robert Woods is capable of staying healthy. But they've gone out and addressed the need to help out their quarterback. Much in a similar situation that Chris Ballard has to do with his new quarterback here. So a restructure. I was in front of all that right there. Is that another one that I whiffed on? Kind of like, remember when, what's his nuts that does the radio insider stuff, Barrett Sports Media? Remember when my good friend Sean Patrick Turley gave me the scoop on Facebook about them being involved in the in-season Hard Knocks on HBO? And it's not that I'm not looking for a scoop. I dig a good scoop. I just don't get directly involved too much in Facebook messaging. I didn't see it, and when I saw it, I didn't think too much of it. Remember they made fun of me because you could have had a big story break right there, and he whiffs miserably. I guess maybe, would you factor in that restructure thing when I ask and not getting an answer? Did I whiff on that a little bit? He's not going to say anything about it, is he?
He might have said, yeah, we're going to restructure, but...
I would say this. It was almost like, I would consider myself kind of, I think it's like dumbassery for me to even ask. Because you know what the answer is going to be. It's like when I had Gus Bradley on a couple of weeks prior. Hey, the new defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley, joins us. So, what do you think about the quarterback situation? Where do you think your team should go? Well, he's not going to say anything about it, and I'm going to look like a horse's ass when I ask. I didn't think much of it. Hell, I thought it was etched in stone, and clearly that it wasn't. Now it is, by the way. So $21 million cap-wise is what they have left. We can discuss that. I know I buried the lead on this bad boy. I know what you guys are going to talk about here. Speedway Press Doug Boles initially was going to join us on the phone. Apparently, he's going to join me in studio. What that normally means when he joins me in studio is I get to drink some, and that's good. That's what I'm assuming here. He brings in a cooler. So this is always a point of interest around here, and I don't blame you. It was announced earlier today what the Carb Day concert is going to look like. And I tried to tell you that this is something, to me, I think it's great. And not because Doug's coming in studio. Just give me a reason to go out there and be with you guys and do some stuff that we haven't done in 2 years, especially. I don't care what the hell goes on the stage. I don't even see it anyway. I'm doing my show in Pagoda Plaza. I have no idea what's going on. But I want it to be fun for you. You know what? It doesn't matter. I could go up there and make fart sounds with my armpit, and you guys would go, woo! Bart Sounds Armpit, JMV, yeah. I mean, you guys just want to be out there, and you guys want to party, and this year more than ever. Why? Because you have not had the opportunity the past 2 years. So even more so than ever, I didn't care who it was going to be. Didn't care. Do not care. Go out there and soak it up. It's a party. Do it. You've been without it for 2 years. Have some fun. So the Miller Lite Carb Day concert set for Friday, May the 27th. Legendary funk and R&B band Morris Day and the Time. Morris Day and the Time actually just played, and SPT or Collinsworth or somebody, I'm assuming Smiley was a part of it too. I think Morris Day and the Time played a private function for a local company about 2 weeks ago. Because we were trying to get Morris Day on with me on the JMV Takeover, and I was first told that Morris Day really doesn't like to do anything, and then I was told, well, you know what, Morris Day will go ahead and do something with you. I mean, he should too, because I'm very knowledgeable with all this stuff. But Morris Day and the Time, they'll give you the bird, not literally, but the song. They'll give you Fishnet, Black Pantyhose, not literally, but the song. They'll give you Jerk Out, which is a pretty good song. And they'll give you Jungle Love, which is one of the greatest songs of the decade of the 80s. So that's Morris Day and the Time. Rick Springfield is on this list. Rick Springfield. And I've seen all this. Well, you know what? What's he going to do? Sing Jesse's Girl 50 times? No. He's got like a 15-song recognizable catalog. You'll be just fine. You'll be just fine. And my man will rock it. Plus, he was on one of my favorite shows in the past 15, 20 years. You remember what that was? Showtime? Californication. Holy crap. It was almost like they said, all right, so what would JMV like to watch on Showtime on a Sunday night? And that's how they created that, with me in mind. That was the idea. I don't know how many episodes he did, but he was awesome. David Duchovny? No? Ring a bell? Californication? Rick Springfield was fantastic in Californication. When I was at the other station, he was actually on with me once. It was the weirdest interview ever, but it was like a weird in an awesome way.
I heard of it, never watched it.
You just know Jesse's Girl, and that's it? That's the only Springfield song you know? I'm going to help you guys all bridge the gap. And I know that there may be a bit of a generation gap here, but I'm going to help you bridge it. Because 15 Billboard songs at least. He is a good damn time. I think even maybe 3 or 4 years ago, up in the Nickel Plate District, don't they and Fishers have some kind of concert venue up there? I believe he played up there. I forget which station. It might even have been B. That was the title radio station sponsor of it. And then there's Kings of Chaos. And you probably go, all right, who's Kings of Chaos? Kings of Chaos will be great. And this is always the biggest key when you talk about Carb Day. You want every song to be recognizable. This is what you would call a supergroup. So bits and pieces of notable groups from back in the day that are put together. In this case, for example, the band is comprised of Sebastian Bach of Skid Row. So you're going to get all the Skid Row songs. I know a lot of you like Skid Row. Jack Blades of Night Ranger and Damn Yankees. Night Ranger just played in Anderson a little less than a month ago. Jack Blades is one of the greatest all time. You're going to get the hits from Night Ranger and more because of Jack Blades. John Waite, who joined us last summer, he played at the State Fair. From Bad English, The Babies, Solo, he's going to be up there. Lita Ford once told me, and I swear to God this is true, Lita Ford once told me she lived with her family on a Caribbean island and they never wore clothes. Did an interview. This is probably 15 years ago or less. They may be wearing clothes now, but they didn't wear clothes allegedly back then. So you get Kiss Me Deadly, Close Your Eyes Forever, that duet she did with Ozzy Osbourne. If you remember, she also played with Joan Jett, Sherry Curry as a member of the Runaways back in the late 70s. Lita Ford is going to be a part of this. Matt Sorum, GNR, Velvet Revolver, Gilby Clarke, GNR. So I think James Lorenzo, I think a Megadeth. It's going to be good. I promise you it will be good. And they will have 15 songs that you will recognize too. I promise you this will be a good time. And that's exactly what you're looking for. It's not going to take much. I could get up there and read poetry on the stage to you, and it won't matter because you haven't had this for 2 years. This will be fantastic. You'll come away going, yeah, you know what, JMV, you're absolutely right. It'll be fantastic. I'm not trying to sell it to you here. I'm telling you just how it's going to be. I've been down this path before. So you will enjoy it, I promise. We'll talk to Doug Boles about Carb Day and more. He's going to join us in studio coming up at 4:30 today. Alan Karpick's going to join us coming up on the other side. Sweet 16 for the Boilermakers tomorrow night. That'd be the Boilers and St. Can I call him St. Pete? Shorten it. St. Pete. The guy with the mustache has a deal now, NIL deal. Did you see that? From Buffalo Wild Wings.
Good.
Yeah. See, that's what I would ask. Getting back to the IU thing, St. Peter's can find a guy, and really, there's some great stuff that happened this time of year. I mean, you could be an average shooter, and you just get into a groove. This guy has been awesome through the first 2 rounds. I mean, awesome. Shot making against Kentucky like crazy. And you watch him just bury jumper after jumper in just huge situations against incredible talent. And then when you're an IU fan, you go, wait a minute. They don't even guard our guys out there. It does make you wonder. They can find a guy in Jersey City, New Jersey, for a school that has a gymnasium about the size of your local junior high. And he's got a mustache, and he can knock down huge shots against Kentucky. But guys don't guard IU's guys when they square up and shoot a jump shot. Something that has to be fixed. That goes well beyond the Dane Fife story and all that. That has to be fixed. We'll talk about that matchup that Purdue has with St. Peter's with Alan Karpick coming up at the bottom of the hour. Otherwise, 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Show is on Twitter. Show is on Facebook Live. You can get there as well. You can watch, listen, participate. You can do that too on YouTube Live. That's the lounge via YouTube Live. Everybody in there right now. We've got a lot to talk about. Karpick, bottom of the hour. Doug Boles in studio in the 4 o'clock hour. And we have Mike Chappell in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll talk about restructure. We'll talk about what's going to be left and what they can do to get more weapons at wide receiver and tight end here. What will be done? Because something has to. I know you can giggle and you can laugh about me talking about left guard to left tackle and giggle and laugh about Nyheim as a slot receiver, but you've got to find somebody. What you have right now is not enough, and hopefully the genius, right? Quotations, that is Chris Ballard, certainly recognizes that. I know he laughs. It's funny. It's just not so funny. It's not so funny when you look at the stats over the course of last year and you got one guy over 400 yards receiving. There's not really much funny about that. Left guard to left tackle, laugh all you want. There's not much funny about that. If I recognize it, others out there recognize it, then you, the general manager, better also recognize it. Talk to Mike about that in the 5 o'clock hour. 239-1070. Your calls, Alan Karpick, and more on a Thursday next.
A while back, we at AmericanEagle.com were asked to build the e-commerce site of a major candy distributor. With the need for a website that could take into account everything from shipping times to local weather, because, candy melts, the task was not like taking candy from a baby. Fortunately, we live for a good digital challenge and free bonbons. So we got to work on a slew of complex integrations, including a shipping algorithm that factored in variables like distance, speed, and location. The website even let the end customer personalize their candy for special events, like weddings or, major website launches. When all was said and done, our client enjoyed a significant increase in traffic, which we were also well prepared for, and an increase in average order size. A sweet result indeed. For complex e-commerce sites, digital marketing, UX, and more, talk to the experts at AmericanEagle.com. Don't just grow, soar.
The Fed has raised rates.
But there's still time to lock in Golden Oak Lending's low 2.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With home values at all-time highs and our low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 2.875% fixed, 3.976% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, it's JMV. Did you know the lack of sleep from snoring can lead to other health issues for both the snorer and the partner? My friends at Aurora Specialty Sleep Clinic can help. They do it with a simple oral device, custom fitted for effectiveness and comfort. It can be a same-day solution in some cases. A 1-hour appointment can change your life. I know, it's changed mine. I get more restful sleep and feel more rejuvenated every day. Set an appointment today. StopYourSnoreNow.com or 317-482-7900.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Golfers, you're invited to make the short trip to experience Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville. Antler Point is under new ownership and just underwent renovations and is ready for you to experience this spring. Weekday specials, senior specials, and affordable weekends, 18 or 9 holes. AntlerPointGolf.com is less than an hour from Indy. You want to play more golf in 2022? Give Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville a swing. You'll be glad you came. AntlerPointGolf.com. That's point with an E. See you soon.
The Mower Shop in Fishers has all your residential and commercial mowers, outdoor power equipment, parts, products, and service also at themowershop.com and 317-849-9500.
The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich, a Dr. Pepper, make it fast. I'm gonna hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right. So, from the category of just wanting to gripe about something. All right, when I said a little bit earlier that I know and I back Dane, all right, if you get rid of me, get rid of him. That's the coach's decision that he can make. Listen, I do not dislike Mike Woodson. I just know and have liked Dane longer. This is what you end up getting into right here. He says, this is from Aaron. John, you're saying that you're pro Dane regardless. Is that you saying Dane can do no wrong? No, I'm just saying I'm pro Dane. We can all do wrong. See, here's what I want you to do. They have made something out of this that, to me, has been unnecessary. So stop your jackassery and don't do the same. That seems to be easy. Can we not come to that conclusion? If these two guys chafe one another, if Mike doesn't want him around, he's the head coach, okay. But now what you do is you end up transforming this into much more than it is, and you end up dividing folks. You end up dividing that fan base again. And now you got to wait until you play again for them to get back on a so-called bandwagon. No! I don't mind Mike Woodson at all. I just think it sucks that this didn't work out. I just know Dane more, and I'm always going to be pro Dane. Again, can we ever live in a world where somebody doesn't make stuff out of nothing? This is where we go. This is where we always end up going. All you have to do is go, oh, yeah, I get it now. Yeah. Now, when you look at the release and the way that reads, that's not great, but Dane will be fine. And Mike Woodson's still going to be the head coach of IU. He's going to be in year number 2 and hopefully figure out some things that maybe he hasn't done right and solidify some things that he has. Yeah, just to kind of yes and moan. Is this what you mean by IU fans love to defend the ones that get fired to no fault of their own? No. Here's what I want you to do. Just believe what you want to believe. And we'll sift through it. Dane will get a job. Mike Woodson will move on with somebody else that he feels more comfortable with, and that will be that. Which is essentially what I said at the outset. It's not hard. It is not hard. And see, that is so true. Jay Voss, inside the lounge via YouTube Live, says, JMV, you can't publicly support anyone without kickback. That's true. That's very true. That is very true. I will say this. If it's not going to work, it's kind of like the Colts situation with Carson Wentz, right? If you realize it's not going to work, and as much as we, make fun of, what they've had to go through to get to where they are right now, if you do realize it's not going to work, then pull the plug on what doesn't work. That's fine. But in the process, and listen, I pay attention. I just don't participate in social media. In the process, you got one side or the other throwing darts, and you don't necessarily want that with that program. That's the problem. Get back to that in a second. Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline, a program that is solid as a rock going into the Sweet 16 right now with apparently, at least from what we have heard, no complaining, no moaning, everybody moving in the same direction. It's in West Lafayette. Well, actually, now it's in Philadelphia in preparation for the Sweet 16 against St. Peter's. Alan Karpick of Gold and Black Illustrated joins us. What's the view? How does everybody up there view preparation for a team that just got incredibly hot? And you can look at the size difference, you can look at the school size, all that in mind, but that doesn't compare to a team that is in a zone this time of year. We've seen it before. How dangerous are the Peacocks going into tomorrow night?
Well, I was just going to say there will be no gnashing of teeth among the Purdue fan base until the first time out tomorrow. So, no, I mean, you don't get away from it whether you're Indiana or Purdue, and there are plenty of things for some people to complain about. No, I think St. Peter's is really formidable. It's going to be a challenge for Purdue. I know the numbers are out there that no Sweet 16, no 15 seeds ever won in the Sweet 16, but you got to remember the last two of them, the Florida Gulf Coast and Oral Roberts, played it pretty tight, and that has nothing to do with St. Peter's because St. Peter's is just a good basketball team. They're a lot like Purdue in terms of how they play offensively. Like you said, they're hot. There's nothing like momentum. And any team that can beat Kentucky, who a lot of people had going to the Final Four, gets my attention. So I think Purdue and Matt Painter and company will pay attention to detail. I know St. Peter's has Purdue's full attention, as it should, and I expect a very, very competitive basketball game tomorrow at 7 o'clock at the Wells Fargo Arena.
A lot of things to like about the way, especially they closed out Texas to advance to the Sweet 16. What stood out to you about the things you do like?
Well, I think we've talked about Jaden Ivey, and I think that Purdue, just like just about any other team, you need the alpha male. You need somebody that is not afraid, that's going to step up, make shots. He made 2 huge threes in the final 3 minutes and was just given the ball and said, "Let's go get the job done." He did that, and I know that there's been some angst over Jaden Ivey's play, just like there was of Carson Edwards back in 2019.
Right.
And this guy is delivered. He is your ceiling. But I also like just the way that the Mason Gillises and the Ethan Mortons and those kind of guys are doing a lot of the little things that get you opportunities, get you extra opportunities. I think when you play St. Peter's, you better play them as hard as they're going to play you. And the Boilermakers have got that ability to do that. They've got several guys in their team that's all they do is put the nose to the grindstone, and I think that bodes well for Purdue come tomorrow night. But I like the fact that Purdue strategically went after Texas early by getting the ball when they weren't doubling Travion Williams, got the ball down to him, and for the most part took care of the basketball against Texas. Didn't have an abundance of turnovers. We keep talking about that. That will be a factor tomorrow night as well. But Purdue's got to be able to just not shoot itself in the rear end, pay attention to detail, and get points on possessions. It's pretty simple. And I think that that's where Purdue's going to have the advantage tomorrow night.
It's Alan Karpick, Golden Black Illustrated, Boilermakers St. Peter's tomorrow night of the Sweet 16 in Philadelphia. Alan with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, turnovers in the first half, and then let's see if they can sidestep some of the boneheaded mistakes. And Ethan Morton, I thought, a couple of wide-open three drains that were necessary in big moments for Purdue to extend their lead or sustain it against the Longhorns on Sunday, but the fouling the three-point shooter and the four-point play stuff, that can't happen. So I know that they did more right than boneheaded stuff, but the boneheaded stuff and the turnover stuff you want to minimize as you get further in this tournament, no question.
No question. And again, Purdue, the ghost of Virginia, which has nothing to do, I think Travion Williams and Sasha Stefanovic, the only two guys that really were on the roster at that point in time back in 19. But you start to think about crazy stuff that can happen. Crazy stuff has not only happened to Purdue in the NCAA tournament. That is the backbone of the NCAA tournament. So you don't want to do, you want to avoid the 4-point plays. You want to avoid the unforced errors, which Purdue, after the first 10 to 12 minutes of the game, for the most part, did that. There was a lot made of Jaden Ivey not getting an official shot attempt in the first half. I thought that was really important because, yes, he hit Ethan Morton for a three. He penetrated. He stayed within himself for the most part, and he took the game over in the second half. But it's just this tournament, JMV. You know it already. It is borderline random. You can just throw up and start flipping a coin and start picking wins. So when that's the case, you don't have a margin for error. You've got to put your best foot forward in every darn possession. And I think Purdue has the ability to do that. But, again, St. Peter's is really confident. I like the fact that in their press conference, I think it was leading into their game against Murray State, they said, what are we afraid of? Heck, we're from New York City and New Jersey. We're tough. Purdue's going to have a tough matchup tomorrow just because St. Peter's is not going to be afraid of Purdue, nor should it be. And Purdue's going to have to take the game to them and use its natural abilities, its ability to have its strengths up the middle, in the middle, I should say, and maybe a little bit more depth to get the job done. Though St. Peter's runs pretty deep as well.
All right, Alan, Stefanovic has been slumping. There's no question. All we have to do is look. The eyeball test will tell you that. But percentage-wise, if you've mulled the numbers, how bad has it been recently for him in the shooting department?
Well, it has been bad. I mean, I know he was 2 for 8 in the second game against Yale. He finally hit a couple threes, and he had problems shooting the ball. But I don't expect Matt Painter to make. He's gonna dance with his guys. Sasha Stefanovic does a lot of things for this basketball team other than shoot threes. Now he needs to make threes. There's no doubt, and he is the kind of guy that can make 4 or 5 in a row, and all of a sudden change the course of the basketball game. Against North Carolina way back in November, he scores 23 points, takes that game over. He's had several other occasions this year. Purdue needs to. Purdue's going to get to the Final Four. My guess is Sasha Stefanovic is going to have to make shots. But I also would say that Matt Painter has been has been willing to put other guys in there, and it always comes down to a guy, the Spike Albrecht effect of the NCAA tournament for teams like Michigan. Somebody that comes in and hits 4 or 5 threes that you don't expect. Now, Sasha Stefanovic, based on how he shot the ball of late, you're not going to expect it from him, but we all know he can do it. But look at a guy like Isaiah Thompson, too. Only got 4 minutes in the last game. Don't be surprised if somebody comes up and makes some shots. Thompson has done that for Purdue. He did it at Iowa on the road. He lets the game come to him. Again, I'm not saying he's my pick to click, but I'm saying that you need guys, you need lightning bolts to work in your favor if you're going to get to the Final Four, even when you're probably the favorite heading into the tournament or heading into the East Regional Finals in Philadelphia.
All right, Alan, before I let you go here, now the team would never do this, but I could ask you, and I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what you're going to do is you're going to jinx the program by asking this, but I'm really not. I'm curious, when you look ahead, if you give yourself the opportunity, and these moments you have to because there's such a quick turnaround for you to get prepared for it, UCLA or Carolina, obviously the Boilers have seen Carolina already. Probably feel decent about that, although Carolina is much different now than they were. What are you thinking about that matchup as a possibility, either or, coming up in the Elite Eight, if the Boilermakers get there?
Well, I'm going to say I have my own daughter is 25 years old. She lives in Philadelphia, and she went up to Rutgers and saw the 50-foot shot by Ron Harper Jr. and thinks she is bad luck. The jinx thing, and then she's going to be at the game tomorrow night, and she's going to. My point about it, there is no such thing as that. We're allowed to look ahead. I think that I'm going to give a slight edge to thinking you'd rather play UCLA. I'm not sure why, because UCLA may be a little bit better defensively than North Carolina. I just think North Carolina's upside is really something. We know that Purdue beat North Carolina by 9. Like you just said, Purdue was a different team back then. So was North Carolina. I think I'd rather play UCLA, but you know what? If I'm Purdue, I'd just rather play and get through Friday night and roll the dice on Sunday and hope that works out. Purdue will have an opportunity to beat everybody it's left in this tournament. I would say, including the Final Four. I'm not saying they're the favorite to win it all, but they've got the ability to do so, and they just got to take care of business on Friday night, and then expect an unbelievably challenging game on Sunday.
Alan Karpick, Golden Black Illustrated, is with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Have fun covering that bad boy. You'll have all the info that everybody needs and everything. A little bit after 7 o'clock coming up tomorrow night gets officially underway in Philly in the Sweet 16 for the Boilers and St. Peter's. Alan, I appreciate you more than you know. Thanks, man.
All right, JMV, so much. Appreciate it so much. Great time of year. It'll be a lot of fun tomorrow night.
No doubt about that. Thank you, Alan. I missed it. Like this weekend or Thursday through Sunday, this is rapid fire. You get used to it. I've missed it. NIT really can't turn the crank. Wait a minute. I mean, the excitement crank, not that one. Come on. I'm already trying to figure out how I'm going to dive into this Deshaun Watson tweet here. How do I do that? Do I just not say what he's alleged to have done? Oh, you didn't? Yeah. Trying to think. And again, my vocabulary does not go that deep. Yeah, I can't say that either. See, Todd's in here now. I can't say anything. Let's see. Overjoyed while being caught up in the moment is the latest on that. See, look, you guys watching on YouTube Live, let Todd walk by. Yeah, see, looking on my shoulder right there. Yeah, overjoyed. A little too overjoyed in the moment. JMV, I tell you what, I'll get to this on the other side. This looks lengthy. I'll get to a couple of emails and your calls on the other side. Speedway Press Doug Boles is going to join us at 4:30 here in studio. Chapel at 5. All right, we got until Doug Boles at 4:30. Plenty of time for you to chime in at 239-1070. Email address is jmv at 1070thefan.com. Phone calls at 239-1070. Straight ahead next.
If you love listening to our shows, then you've got to follow us on our social media. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search 1075 The Fan and share your opinions with us on our posts.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for their e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/Peaks-Club. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, John here. You got it right. PAI, WeGrowHairAndy.com. Real growing hair again. Just a phone call away, 888-724-5129. If you want your real growing hair again, get to my friend Darren Anders and PAI. WeGrowHairAndy.com today.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 38,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
The Fed has raised rates, but it's not too late for you.
There's still time to lock in Golden Oak Lending's low 2.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak, and I urge you to call now. With home values at all-time highs and Golden Oak Lending's low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today to get a free mortgage checkup and find out how much cash you can get. It's more than you think.
That's right. Plus, Golden Oak still has millions of dollars available at near record low rates, and you can skip 2 mortgage payments.
Lock in this low 2.875% rate. And if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge. Call 317-706-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 2.875% fixed, 3.976% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Indy 11 returns to Carroll Stadium for its home opener Saturday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. Don your favorite blue threads and help pack the mic for the Blue Out Blowout opener. Celebrate the goals, smell the smoke, sing with the Brick Air Battalion, and cheer on your boys in blue in their new checkered home kit. Available for purchase now at shop.indy11.com. Get your tickets now at indy11.com or inside the Indy 11 app. We'll see you at Carroll Stadium Saturday, April 2nd versus LA, presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers.
All right, so you're having a problem with that main drain, are you? Sewage backing up into your house. That's pretty nasty. You don't want that. So let's make sure everything is okay. Let's get in touch with the best. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing at 317-284-9526. Ask for the 83 or free, which means LD Smith Plumbing. They come clear that main drain for you, making sure you don't get any of that nasty sewage backing up into your home. They do it for $83 or their visit is free. 83 or free. 317-284-9526. Lance and his local team with LD Smith Plumbing. 83 or free. 317-284-9526 online. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
If you're suffering every day with joint pain, stop and listen. You can get real, lasting relief now with natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. This is Kevin Bowen, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue with no surgery and no drugs. This is the relief you've been hoping for your aching hips, knees, shoulder, lower back. The unique protocols at QC Kinetics were created by a physician with years of study in regenerative medicine. They're treating patients every day in hundreds of clinics nationwide with remarkable success, life-changing results, and zero downtime. It's the new, better, smarter, non-surgical, non-invasive way to deal with joint pain. And yes, they're right here ready to help right now. So call for a free consultation and make this spring and summer your best ever with no joint pain holding you back. 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160.
Join me tomorrow. It is Friday. Purdue plays in the Sweet 16. Jason Hammer is going to join us. The Cash Man's going to break down everything you should do over the weekend. And KB, let's talk a little Matt Ryan. Join me tomorrow.
The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go down 'cause my
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, Carb Day is going to have Jack Blades a part of it. They're asking, all right, who's Kings of Chaos? Kings of Chaos would be a supergroup. Jack Blades of Night Ranger is a part of it. John Waite of the Babies of Bad English and Solo Wise is a part of it. Lita Ford is a part of it. Solo, the Runaways, that Lita Ford. Naked on Her Island back in the day in the Caribbean. I probably would have been down with that program. So that's Kings of Chaos. Sebastian Bach, Skid Row. You got Rick Springfield. You got Morris Day at the time. There is your Carb Day. And I'm getting plenty of reaction right here. You guys really want me to read that, huh? That's true, though, about Carb Day. Literally, Springfield has about 15 easily recognizable songs. Now, again, I look at it from my standpoint, and I probably have, to me, a lot more recognizable about everything in music than a lot of you do. Not everybody, but a lot of you. So it's a little bit different. I understand that. But you get out there, throwing some back, getting the moment, realize you haven't been out there for Carb Day for the past 2 years. Promise you'll soak it up. Colvin, Monroe County, any chance Braden Smith could be moved to left tackle? No, there's not. I don't think. Be careful. I don't want, Chris will laugh at that too. JMV. Boogie Nights with Jesse's Girl. That was awesome. Have you not seen the film Boogie Nights, Kyle?
I have. It's been about almost 10 years.
The drug dealer? That's when he was dancing around in his silk robe and his underwear. And they were going to sell off what they were going to sell off as cocaine, but it was baking soda, I think. How many songs played during that moment? Jesse's Girl, 99 Red Luff Balloons. Was it only 2? Good film, though, everybody. Good memory there, Evan. It's from Ryan. JMV, 3 years running, Ballard has said he needs to address wide receiver. See, I don't know if he's ever said that. Like, I've said that. I don't think he's ever... Has he said that this year? Or
he said that, yeah, at his end of season
this
press
year
conference, he said they need to add weapons.
He didn't say that at the end of the year press conference. He said that at the combine, that they needed to add weapons. I think he said that
and when he talked to the media and answered questions for an hour.
I think sometimes you get mixed, because I've said it for like 4 years. I'm a veteran when it comes to saying that here. Tony Donahue says, have you watched Pam and Tommy yet? I've watched it in its entirety, and I love maybe the first 3 or 4, and then unfortunately I thought it got really boring. When they started to meet with lawyers, and then that nerd from Seattle got involved with it and all that stuff. When they stopped having Tommy Lee's thingy talk to him when he's under the influence of drugs, then I guess I lost interest in it. I'm not sure. So clearly you know what I have to be entertained. Quick break and we'll return. Alvin Karpick, podcast 1075thefan.com. Doug Boles in studio at 4:30. Chappell in the 5 o'clock hour. Hey, let's go ahead and get going. 239-1070. Phone calls. I got a good 30 minutes to chat with you next. He is the new quarterback for your Indianapolis Colts.
Okay, we got our guy. We can worry about other stuff now.
Does Matt Ryan make the Colts a Super Bowl threat?
Jimmy, what are we doing? If you're talking about it.
The Colts just got better quarterback. Be part of an organization that has an incredible history.
We're talking about it.
Go get Matt Ryan and then draft a quarterback.
Matt Ryan, best quarterback in the division.
Your home for Indy sports. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, Johnny, for love, heating, and air conditioning, it's going to be a time when you're just going to crank the cool on and leave it on, right? So go with the absolute best. That's John and Chris Love with Love Heating and Air, 317-754-0754. Right now, get $95 off your spring service. Let's all get a spring service right here to make sure we're good to go for the warmer spring and summer months that are further down the road. $95 off right now, your spring service with John and Chris Love and Love Heating and Air, 317-754-0754. It's online, love-hvac.com today.
Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Freaks on Parade Tour. Zombie, Mudvayne, together. This trip is for real. July 21st, Ruoff Music Center with Static X and Powerman 5000. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com. Zombie, Mudvayne, part of the Coors Light concert series.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Hey, JMV here. You got it right. I like to talk about things that really can help you out, especially a business. And in this case, I got something for you, business owners. Are you feeling the pressure of running your business? And, there's a limit as what you can do and still keep employees engaged here. And Insperity can help you out. They put 30 plus years of HR experience to work, helping you with hiring, training, HR administration, and compliance while giving your employees competitive benefit options. Because, you're able to focus on other priorities. Your employees can thrive. Your business can grow. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. We're talking full service HR, employee benefits, HR technology, Insperity. HR that makes a difference.
1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Pick up the phone, the call is free.
Right now, you're too busy driving around Indiana to talk about insurance. We get it, which is why Safe Auto is available 24/7 to help you save on car insurance whenever you're free. Safe Auto offers state minimum car insurance, flexible payment options, and down payments as low as $15, so you can hit the road for less. Get a quote in under 3 minutes at safeauto.com or call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO.
Play it safe, Safe Auto.
Make your first wager with the king of sportsbooks and win big during BetMGM's March matchups. Download the BetMGM app and place a $10 moneyline wager on any college tournament game. If any team hits a three-pointer during the tournament, you'll win $200 in free bets. Just use the code MM200. Again, that's MM200 when you register. Plus, you'll earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps at MGM Resorts. Sign up today, and again, use that code MM200 to win $200 if any team hits a three during BetMGM's March matchups. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. New customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, John here for Indiana's Best, Andy Moore Buick GMC with my friend Eric Wilson. Ask for him by name, 131st State Road 37 in Fishers. If you're in the market for a new ride, there you go. I dig on hassle-free. I don't want any hassle whatsoever, and that's what you're going to get in your car buying experience. Plus, you're going to get the inventory that some just simply don't have. They do it Indiana's Best. Tell Eric Wilson that I sent you to Andy Moore Buick GMC and let them make a deal for you. 131st State Road 37 in Fishers.
Stop by your locally owned and operated Big O Tires and save up to $100 instantly on Cooper, Nitto, and Pirelli tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2 W298BB. WIBC HD3 W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers head south to play the Memphis Grizzlies tonight at 7:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Brand's hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Valdez-Scantling off the board now as a free agent wide receiver, correct? Formerly of the Packers, now of the... See if you can guess. Kyle, guess. Free agent deal where? They just lost somebody, actually traded away for a lot of picks yesterday. To me, the biggest offensive receiving game changer in the NFL. Can you name that team?
Going off that, I'm going to guess the Kansas City Chiefs.
He's going to Valdez-Scantling going to the Chiefs?
Yep.
What's the deal there? How much?
3 years, $30 million.
3 years, $30 million. And we sit here and wait. Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live, you guys are pretty funny right now. Jump in there and see what we're talking about and see if... You can ask me sometime, not necessarily on the air, but sometime, how can you do a sports talk show and then have a conversation like this going on at the same time? I multitask like you would not believe. I am a multitasker. I'm a multi-Steve tasker. Check that out. JMV, when you say catalog referring to musicians, you sound like some washed-out radio DJ. What do I want to say then, Paul? Their catalog. Their resume? Their history? Nah, you sound like a washed-out DJ when you say, hey, man, all their tunes. Catalog makes me sound uptight. I completely view that differently than what you do, Paul. Hey, JMV, I produced the show for Damar Services. The band was awesome. That's Steve with Morris Day and the Time. I knew it was Damar Services. By the way, did you see that? We're doing the comedy thing again with Scott Long. I guess I'm involved. I am involved.
You better be thinking of some material.
I think of it on the way. I write my material. It's only 8 minutes. I write my material on the way. I'm unique. Like, this is something I was making fun of consultants yesterday. This is something the consultants say. You got to keep this unique and organic. Unique and organic. Okay. You mean you want me to be myself and not take other people's work and utilize it? Okay. Yeah, so that's, to me, that's unique and organic. I'm on the road and I'm thinking about stuff, and then I get there and I just let her fly. Here's the one thing, though. I don't really care, but I'm kind of wondering. I haven't asked anybody here. I don't know if I want people, like, tape. Actually, I take this back. I don't care if you tape it. I don't care. But I wonder if David Wood cares. You think David Wood would care?
Yeah.
I do too. I haven't asked him yet. Should I have asked? I think Hammer's doing it downstairs. I didn't ask, though. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you would, because you know how I'm going to come out of the gate here, boys. I'm just going to let the expletives fly. So, I haven't asked, but it's for a great cause. And thank you, Scott Long, for asking. I believe that's April the 22nd, which is on a Friday. And it's over at the Murat Egyptian Room. So the big stage. I think that I get about 8 minutes. I could go out there. I could think about what I'm doing on the way, and I could go for like 18, 20, 30, whatever. Hey, JMV, I'm watching you online inside the lounge via YouTube Live, and I love that Burger Chef shirt. Everybody says the same thing. Shout out to the shop in Broad Ripple and Carmel. BK and Alex, this is a legit shirt right here, no doubt. Doug Boles, bottom of the hour, is going to be in studio. Carb Day conversation forthcoming here in less than 30 minutes. Bill is at 239-1070 because I want to talk to everybody right now. Bill, hello.
Hey, man, how you doing? Whiskey business tomorrow.
Tomorrow, buddy. We're back in business again at Whiskey Business tomorrow.
It's been a long week. I'm looking forward to it. Hey, I wanted to talk about the Colts and the Pacers a little bit, but what do you think of Peyton Hendershot from IU? And he's a big tight end. The Colts are looking for a tight end. He's talented. I mean, I think he's the all-time leading receiver. What do you think about him going to the Colts?
I don't know how. I haven't been following him since the IU football season was over. So here's what I'm thinking about, I guess, Bill, more than anything else. Like established guys. Like Colin Granson is a guy that you're still trying to work in and still trying to get any sort of production, much less consistent, out of. Matt Ryan needs guys that have helped others and can help him right now and can help its offense right now. Like everybody talks about Mike Strawn. Mike Strawn's great. Everybody talking about, well, you can utilize the draft. You're waiting on Mike Strawn right now. Find guys that can help you in the moment because your 37-year-old quarterback will require it. That's what I'm looking for. That makes sense to you.
That makes sense to me. I'm just going to be anxious to see where Hendershot goes and everything. And of course, I'm an IU football fan, so I can take a little pain, just like everybody else.
I think with the Colts in mind, I know that Chris embraces and loves the draft, and that's fantastic. But if you haven't seen and you don't see and you clearly don't understand how important it is to add guys that have a history of producing in the NFL as much as you can at those two positions right now, that's why I've been so outspoken, even without a quarterback, outspoken about watching these guys, guys of like Austin Hooper, for example, relatively cheap by free agency standards. Guys going off the board that at some point you're going to need. They need that. We have seen that. And I'm going to be incredibly disappointed if you don't see those additions playing and participating at the beginning of the season. And now more than ever with Matt Ryan coming in here. No question.
Absolutely, man. This is the most anxiety I've had about a season in a long time. But I also want to talk about the Pacers a little bit. Obviously, they're going to probably blow up the Pacers. Should Lance Stevenson still be on the roster next year? I say yes. I think the Pacers need him and his leadership. But what do you think?
I would say I wouldn't mind him coming off the bench. They're going to make changes. They've already really reshaped it. Now it's going to depend on what they end up doing in the draft and what they do in free agency. As a bench player, I don't mind Lance being on the bench and being a part of this team. I don't mind that at all.
I think when he comes off, when he does come off the bench, he's the big spark. And what about T.J. McConnell?
Oh yeah, McConnell will be here next year. McConnell will be coming off the bench. There's no doubt. I would assume whomever you have on this team, you will want his energy and spark. And I guess you looked at it in the same way as you look at Lance. It's just kind of beyond the numbers for this team. I don't know about Lance for sure, but there is no doubt that McConnell will be a part of it next year.
Well, man, I think when Lance and McConnell they're on the floor at the same time, it's Indy's version of Showtime. I think it would be really exciting to watch. Hey, man, be looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Can't wait, Bill. Thank you very much. JMV at 1070thefan.com is the email address. By the way, tomorrow, Whiskey Business with Bud Light. We got our shooting contest where you could win and then get yourself in for a chance to win $10,000. Tomorrow, Whiskey Business. Join us beginning at 3 o'clock. Jason Holland just put this up via our lounge on YouTube Live. Stephon Diggs sent out, you'll have to look this up, an interesting tweet. See, you guys got me chasing shadows when it comes to wide receivers and tight ends, too. That's just what I do. Stephon Diggs sent out an interesting tweet saying something about it's only business, nothing personal. It's got Bills fans' attention.
He did tweet that, yeah. I assume it's just he wants more money. He sees these contracts going out to other guys, and he wants to be paid like that.
Yeah. So how the Tyreek Hill thing, really, Devontae Adams started the avalanche. And this is what happens when you have these high-dollar quarterbacks. And now your wide receiver wants something, so Devontae Adams kind of started the ball rolling. You got what you got with the Chiefs and Tyreek Hill going to the Dolphins. And now apparently Stephon Diggs wants a little larger piece of the action, everybody. Let us see. Hey, JMV, first, Mike Woodson did not have the opportunity to recruit for his first year back at IU. He attempted to fill the spots of players who decided to transfer with at least two guys who were supposed to be shooters. That's Kopp and Parker Stewart. The others, Xavier Johnson, Tamar Bates, was recruited, brought in by Bates. I thought Woodson brought in Bates. I could be wrong. I know that Xavier Johnson was brought in through the transfer portal as well. Second, I heard from a pretty reliable source that Fife basically was stabbing Woodson in the back, but using race to discourage white players from coming to IU. All right. Okay. Listen, you can have chafing and you can have just a disagreement. But sorry if I'm not buying that for a moment, man. Come on. One of these days, this is all going to go away. The problem that you have now is all this stuff with a program that is trying to find itself once again, and did over the course of, a little more than a week at the end of the season. All this type of stupid stuff does is continue to create division. And I'm telling you, as a fan base, I mean, I see what you guys are writing on Twitter, pro and anti either one. I'd just put this thing to bed. Seriously. I mean, I know I can help. I'm sure as hell not going to sit here and spend 3 hours on it and 3 hours on it with stuff like that. I mean, people are chafed because A, they thought it was going to work out differently than it did. And B, what was said from IU guy about IU guy in announcing that dismissal rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way. And now you have this canyon of a divide. At some point, you got to stop making this thing a soap opera. You just do. At some point, you have to stop. And I know you're saying, well, you're talking about it on your show, and you're right. You're right. Well, you know what? You have an axe to grind. I don't have an axe to grind with Mike Woodson whatsoever. I do like Dane. I just know Dane. Think I'm going to buy that? So, yeah, seriously, if you're on... And I want everybody, I don't care what anybody does when it comes to podcasting or blogging or websites or social media. Do what you want. But I try to put this thing to bed without jerking everybody around here. Because all it does is just another bad reflection on the program that you don't need and you sure as hell shouldn't want. That's my 2 cents. I mean, at some point it's going to go away. At least you can't play basketball to cover it up. You can't win games to cover it up. But this is just, some of this stuff is stupid. That's why I referenced a little bit earlier the email that I got. Well, you say this and you say that. No, I am saying, all right, he's the head coach. He has full discretion on whether or not to keep somebody around, let somebody go, whatever. That's fine. But you don't have to run everybody through the mud in the process here, especially one IU guy to another IU guy. And what you have, IU fans, is a problem because you have big-time fans of Dane, and then you have fans and believers of Mike, and now you create a divide. You turn this thing into a soap opera, which you do not need. Come on. That stuff is stupid. That's what you really think? I mean, when somebody would have told you that, would you have not said, you are a huge dumbass? Or let me do it for you. Let me do it for you. You are an incredible dumbass to think that. I'm telling you, you guys all better get on the same page with this. Try to unify as best you can. I mean, maybe you can't. Maybe you never will. Maybe it's never. Maybe it's I'm going to be right. Maybe it's just never going to be what everybody believes it to be again. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm right. You guys make me look right. Stop the foolishness. Stop the foolishness. It shouldn't be that hard either. You guys make it hard. Gino's up next at 239-1070. Gino, why don't you jump on here?
Hey, what's happening, JMV?
I'm hanging.
Got a couple things I want to talk about the Pacers. We got a couple first-round picks this year, and with Miles Turner on the block, you think that there's a really good possibility they may trade him and try to get another couple first-round picks back? And with the Tyrese Halliburton situation, he looks good offensively, but he doesn't really seem to really guard that well.
Well, that would fit the program because I don't know when the last time they had anybody on the outside be able to guard anybody. But
I mean, I just thought that he's a heck of an offensive talent, and and I don't think that we're going to re-sign Buddy Hield, so it looks like we're going to be looking for another two guard. And I don't think Brogdon will be back here. What do you think's going to happen here?
I don't know. I'm assuming at some point Miles is going to be traded. The problem you have is you haven't seen him play in forever. I don't know what the market might be. It would seem like if they're going in a different direction, he may also go, but I don't know. I mean, everybody also thought once they traded Sabonis that, he was for sure going to be around. I can't tell you that. I like Halliburton for a couple of different reasons, and he didn't shoot the ball well last night, and at times he may struggle defensively. There's no question. But
I like it better than Brogdon.
The assist to turnover ratio, if you look at that last night, was outstanding. What did he have? Double digit? 15 assists and no turnovers. That is what you concentrate on that. Because they haven't had somebody like that in a long time. And that somebody with the ball in his hands all the time is certainly not Brogdon. So, Brogdon could be out of here as well. But I would view more Halliburton from that lens than I would either the way he shot the ball last night or just what his defensive prowess may look like.
Right. All right, JMB. Thank you.
Gino, thank you very much. Yeah, sometimes I can't believe what you believe. I just read it and go, what? What? You believe this? Why does somebody answer me this, IU fans? And this is all of you. Every last one of your asses right here. Why does somebody always have to be the bad guy? Why does somebody always have to be trashed? It's curious. Why you got to do that? Richard writes this: the program that the fan constantly praise and lift up like they're the only basketball team in Indiana, the greatest program, huh? Not. See, and that's the other thing I don't want to hear. I just literally 40 minutes ago had Alec Karpick on here call in from Philadelphia. So don't start that stupid stuff either. I've been around here long enough to know what the hell I'm doing too. So I don't need the advice. Don't give me that whole consultant stuff right here. Well, this is what you need to do. What about the team right now is playing in Philadelphia? Again, I know that. That's why we had somebody to cover them a little bit earlier. It's just amazing I mean, you kind of got to make this into a Jerry Springer show. Like, everybody's just got to pile one side or the other. And let this thing go. Let this thing go. $239-1070. Marcellus is up next. It's good to hear from you, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, my man. How you doing?
Just going through, sifting through the pains in the ass. There's some right here. So.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, look, I know I hadn't called since, we got our new quarterback and all of that, and just kind of marinating in it a little bit and trying to be positive about it. But I'm just, like you said, it's kind of like we don't know anything until they play. The things I'm hearing, the adult in the room stuff is like, well, she's got a great personality, and all of that. I don't know, man.
I mentioned this yesterday. I'm glad you brought this up, Marcellus. I mentioned this, and I like it. I like what they did, considering what the situation that they were in. There really wasn't, to me, any better option out there, and I don't mind at all what they ended up with in Matt Ryan right here. But you're going to make a point, and it was a point that I made yesterday. There's going to be, at some time, you got to start talking about his numbers and what he can still do and what you're going to do with him offensively. And this is why you believe it production-wise. It can't be about all this surface stuff about the adult in the room and the nice guy and the professional. When you continuously go to that, it sounds like you're trying to cover up the fact that you really don't believe he's going to be able to produce on the field.
Right. And, look, man, and once again, we've kind of gone back to a guy that's got a definite ceiling. He's another old guy. I mean, 37 is not old, but you understand what I'm saying. In football years, that's ancient. And we've gone back to Phillip Rivers again. And Rivers did get us to a playoff game, but we lost. And one of the reasons, he's not very mobile. He can't keep players alive.
Right.
And, look, man, I talked to you before. I tried to talk you into Mariota, but, that didn't work. But, we'll see how Mariota does in Atlanta. Now, I'm very curious to see.
I know you're a pro Mariota. I didn't mind this at all, to me, but I don't know as of now what to expect, and it's a problem because we saw an offensive line that didn't play well a year ago. You can say what you want, it didn't. It played much better in pass protection when it had Phillip Rivers, who got rid of the ball really quickly. And Matt Ryan is a guy that I trust with the football, but you have to have bodies around you. And that's something that Chris Ballard didn't do for Rivers, and he didn't do for Wentz. And if he screws this up and does not do this for Matt Ryan, I think they're going to pay for it. And that's why, even if you don't have it's not, I know I make it easier, Marcellus, than it is. I make it sound a lot easier than it is. But this is a have to this offseason. A have to. And if you don't, I think you're going to suffer the consequences, and we'll see.
Yeah, we're back on the hamster wheel in 2 years. We're looking for a QB, and, look, and as far as Frank Reich is concerned, that's my last point, man. The national media really loves this guy. They just really, I mean, when you listen to local radio and then you listen to national media, it's a totally different opinion about Frank Reich and his ability to be that whisperer guy.
Yeah.
And we whispered 7 quarterbacks out of here.
Yeah, they don't know. We, and again, that's why we're all important to one another here. Because we live and breathe this 24/7, 365 around here. National folks swoop in and they get romanced by Chris, and he's their best buddy. Swoop out, thus he's a genius and one of the greatest going on. And we're left to look over what this team looks like and the results of the past, which still on paper would equate to one playoff win. And we all know that around here is simply not close to being enough. We know more.
Hey, look, Ballard's very savvy, man. If you ever listen to another one of his interviews, listen to another one of his pressers, when they ask him a question, he'll always say, that's a good question.
He diffuses guys. That's how you diffuse them.
He gives them a compliment.
That's how he diffuses everybody that way. There is no question about that. But we know more than they do nationally. So the national folks, don't give it as much as we do, certainly. Marcellus, I appreciate you. Talk to you Saturday night.
Take care, man. Bye-bye.
Quick break. Speedway Prez, Doug Boles regarding Carb Day in studio. That, your phone calls, Chapel, top of the hour. Don't leave.
We buy any car. We buy any car. We buy any car. Any.
Did you know trading in your car at a dealer could cost you money? A recent study found consumers who trade in their car pay an average of $990 more. So don't trade in. Sell it to We Buy Any Car. Learn more and get your free online valuation now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Find out how much your car's worth at We Buy Any Car.
A direct diamond importer. What does that even mean? And why should you care? Well, if you're looking for a beautiful diamond at the best value, you will care, and you'll want to come to Shane Company. We travel to the diamond capitals of the world to hand-select the prettiest natural diamonds. Because we eliminate all middlemen and their markups, we have the most beautiful diamonds at the best possible value. Since we pay cash up front and buy thousands of diamonds, the stonecutters give us first pick of their best stones at the best price. For 4 generations, we've been directly importing our diamonds from ethical sources, buying only the most beautiful diamonds in each quality grade and passing those savings on to our customers. At Shane Company, you'll always get the best value on the most beautiful diamond. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and Shaneco.com.
Hey, John 4, you got it. Connecticut Water. Let's get you set up with the best water out there. We need water. I wasn't much on drinking water. You want to know why? Well, my water sucked. It did. I didn't know that it sucked because I just didn't know. I didn't know until I got Connecticut just how bad my water was. But now, even more so with the K5 in-home, with the Premier Series water softener, Connecticut has transformed my water into the best, and they can do the same for you in your home. And right now, with the equipment that's necessary to get you the best water possible, $200 off. Joe, John, and Dennis, my friends at Connecticut, ask for the JMV discount of $200 off. With the 2 locations, Northeast Side, Castleton, Southside, US 31, and Southport Road, the Connecticut Water app. Download that to your smartphone or device today or online, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Rob Zombie, Mudvayne, Freaks on Parade Tour. Zombie, Mudvayne, together. This trip is for real. July 21st, Ruoff Music Center with Static X and Powerman 5000. Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Zombie, Mudvayne, part of the Coors Light concert series.
When it comes to Twin Peaks beverages, they take things pretty seriously, which is why over the last few months they've been innovating cocktails for their elevated drink menu that has something to offer everyone. Get ready for all new additions like Pink Whitney Pink Lemonade Vodka by the Spitting Chicklets crew, the Watermelon Jolly Rancher featuring Watermelon Red Bull, or the Margarita on The Rock, made with Terramata Silver, Dwayne The Rock Johnson's premium tequila. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Credit card debt is increasing at record speed. That's great for the big banks and greedy credit card companies, but for the rest of us, it's getting harder and harder just to pay the bills. The good news is home values are skyrocketing and mortgage rates are still near historic lows. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Our average client received over $54,000 at closing with a simple cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
O'Reilly.
Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, get up to a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase select Superstart batteries. With the power, performance, and reliability your vehicle demands, Superstart batteries are designed for lasting performance and consistent starts. Turn the key with confidence. Superstart batteries only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
1 point lead for Plymouth. They got the ball inbounds. Oh, they got it free.
3 seconds, 2, 1, it's over! Plymouth has won the state championship.
Oh, the great Jerry Baker right there. Remember how unbelievable that was? I'm sitting in my living room back in the day. I didn't have to change the channel with my feet. That was my remote back in the day. But I was sitting, did you bring? Thank you very much. I can't say that right now. Just what we're doing. You can sit right there if you want to. Oh, yeah. Back to the 82 state championship game. Plymouth and Scott Skiles over Gary Roosevelt, 75-74. This weekend is going to be spectacular. There's a lot of new and fresh faces involved in some of the matchups. Shout out to Mike Renfro and Beach Grove for being there for the first time. Cathedral is in their title game. Brent Dalrymple, my guys down in the Cougar Den, North Davies, Odin, Elnora, Plainville representing Davies County. Going to be spectacular. Get your tickets for the IHSAA Boys State Finals going on Saturday. Check it out, ihsaa.org today.
Put on your helmet. It's about to get real.
Greg Cosell, what are your thoughts on Matt Ryan?
Well, Matt Ryan's a hard guy not to like. He's been a really good quarterback in this league. He's essentially a pocket player. Really smart before the snap of the ball. Understands defenses. Is not fooled very often. He's just a really good quarterback, and we'd be talking about him as a Hall of Famer if he won that Super Bowl. So Matt Ryan's a really, really good player.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
I want savages on the field. I want to lead the league in broken ribs. I want to put people in the hospital legally. No hitting in the head. I want them to cry and be scared to play us.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
I didn't get laid, I got in a fight. It ain't no big thing.
Welcome back, everybody. We are drinking ice cold Miller Lite in studio. Hopefully you can see us right now via YouTube Live. There is Speedway President Doug Boles. I got to make sure I point in the right direction here. There he is right there.
I needed that Miller Lite today.
I'm curious. We're talking about Carb Day. The announcement, you guys made it official earlier today on the Carb Day Acts. This has to be gratifying, though, because this means so much to people. I mean, it really does. And it sparks up interesting debate. There's no doubt about that.
For sure. Yeah, it's the good news in all of this, no matter what side of the fence you are on with the acts, is music is back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Right on.
People are coming back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And we just got to execute a normal or as close to normal May as we can. I want to do it for Roger as much as for our fans who haven't been around. And then we can sit back down and we'll have a full year, hopefully, of not worrying what the world's going to look like. You think about where we were in December and even early January.
Right.
The world was still in a spot where we didn't know what government was going to come in and tell us what we could and couldn't do. So a lot of our planning process has been a challenge. And at this point in time, we're 100% no contingency planning.
Love
we're
it.
Full on planning about having a big event. And, I've always said about Carb Day, the most important thing is a cooler full of Miller Lite or Coors Light, and you come out and you sing the songs that you know. Even if you don't know, you know them when you get there.
Yes.
When you hear them, you're going to go, oh, I know that song. I know that song. And the music landscape has been a challenge this year, but for me, I'm excited about all of the songs that'll be there. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. I promise you that. Doug Boles in studio. All right, so a lot of people are asking. It's Kings of Chaos. It's Rick Springfield. It's Morris Day on the Time. How did you end up with all your colleagues out there with those conclusions as the entertainment?
The one of all of them that was the easiest at some level is Rick Springfield had some interest in playing. He said, obviously has a lot of songs that people know, and we knew that would fit somewhere, but we also knew that probably wasn't our main act. And then as we were looking for folks, it's just a challenge to find people, especially as everybody's getting ready to come out and tour, and the radius clause and the date clauses you have.
Explain that to everybody, by the way, too.
So we've got a great partnership with our folks at Live Nation. So I'm not picking on them a little bit, but Live Nation owns so many venues around the country, and basically what they'll go in and they'll take JMV's band, and they're gonna book you on all of their Live Nation venues, which is awesome.
Right.
And they write you a big check to come play in all those places, and then when you play in a certain market, Indianapolis, for example, you have a radius clause that says you can't play inside 110, 120 miles of this venue within usually 120 days before and after. You think about, we're May, basically June 1. That pushes us all the way. Anybody that plays June, July, or August in Indianapolis is out. Yeah. You just can't have them. So it is a big challenge for us. Now, Live Nation is a great partner of ours. We're working with them at TCU for our Legends Day concert, which is going to be a lot of fun. And honestly, I hope I can expand our relationship with Andrew and Doug LaFrac and the gang over there, because they do a great job, and we love live music. But that's one of the biggest challenges you get through. And the other one this year, so many bands decided, let's get 2 or 3 of us together and then sell our package to Live Nation. So you really had less bands to choose from. So what I loved about Kings of Chaos was it is music, and people call it a cover band, but in a lot of ways it's not, because it's Lita Ford singing Lita Ford songs and Cherry Bomb songs. It's John Waite singing John Waite songs. It's Jack Blade singing Night Ranger songs. You've got Matt Sorum, who didn't sing, but heck, 3 of the band members are Guns N' Roses band members. I go to see Guns N' Roses. So you're getting that band and those music and played the proper way. So for me, that was part of the reason I think it makes sense. Sebastian Bach doing his Skid Row stuff. I mean, it's going to be fun. I've actually seen them before, and at first I was like, what's this going to be about? It is an absolute party. And that's what Carb Day is supposed to be about. It is about what we're doing right now, drinking Miller Lights after practice has been over and the pit stop competition's over, and going and listening to some music.
Kings of Chaos. So when did this whole thing evolve? We'll get to everybody else in a moment, but when did that idea with them evolve? Because it probably was a little bit late in the process for you guys, right? Putting all this together?
For sure. It was a little late in the process. In 2020, we announced REO and Styx were going to come in 2021. They were gracious enough in 2020 they were gracious enough to say, we'll come back in 2021. They got caught up in the 2022. We're on a Live Nation tour, and I think theirs is really close to the Indy 500 actually. So, that took them out of the mix a little bit later. And then as you start talking to bands in the fall, bands were also a little worried about what was going to happen in the springtime. So people were a little reluctant to make decisions. Kings of Chaos has always been one that's sort of been out there as the potential to be an opener or somebody to really help us as a party band. And then when we started looking at it and just realizing, hey, it's a bunch of hits and it's a party day, and we're just going to make this a day of just come out and listen to a bunch of hits. And I think it'll work. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I've gotten some tweets at me today.
Let's just hear about the tweets.
I actually, one of the guys, a guy named Michael Nagel.
Nagel.
Yeah, actually sent me a relatively thoughtful 3 tweets, and the Speedway social team flagged it for me, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to call him. So I had a great phone call with him. I think he was surprised I called him and just walked through with him.
Now, was he pissy in the email at all, or was he professional?
He was, and I love it when people are professional. I don't mind when people criticize or people don't think we did the wrong thing, but it's a lot more fun when it's somebody you can have a conversation with, and so I got an opportunity to talk to him, and his biggest thing, and I wanted to make sure he knew that philosophically we were aligned. He said, look, the Indy 500 is important and Carb Day is important, but it's got to be an event. I want to go out and watch people, and are we going to get enough people here for people watching? He's 100% right. It is an event. It's not just a race, and it begins with Carb Day. And so we had an opportunity to talk that through, and he and his buddies didn't come last year because they're infield folks. And they thought, I don't want to sit in the seats, and so they couldn't wait to get back in the infield and walk around and do their thing. And after we got off the phone call, he said, I'll be there, and we'll have fun, and we'll wait to see what you do next year, but we can't wait. And thank you for letting us know that the music will be fine.
Kings of Chaos is interesting because it's not always this particular group here. I mean, you've had everybody from Joe Elliott, the lead of Def Leppard, to obviously Sebastian Bach, now John Waite. It's a super group. And how do they decide who goes where and just with whom during this?
So they have a whole lot of folks that are that like you said, rotating. Billy Gibbons is one. ZZ Top, right? I was hoping.
Sorry, I'm don't mean to. Sean inside the lounge via YouTube Live, Kyle just said JMV holds that beer like Chris Ballard holds his cap space. I'm sorry, that's really funny. I had to get to that in a moment. I was going to forget it. That's outstanding right there. Continue, Doug. I'm sorry.
You know, Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top is one that's in it, and we tried to see about Billy, but Billy's actually out. Is out touring with ZZ Top, so a little of it depends on who's around. But that core, the artist, so Matt Sorum and his gang, pretty much the core. Kenny Aronoff plays off like Hoosier drummer, and he's out touring right now too. So he was unavailable, but you know I feel pretty good about where we are, and you know more stay in the time. You know I hear so many people talk about what an unbelievable show Morris Day and the Time put on. Yeah. So I just think people just got to say, look, it is about a party. We're going to go have some fun, and we're going to walk out of there and go, you know what? That was worth our $30, and I got to see some racing, and I got to see a pit stop competition.
Did you ever consider? We were talking about a local band of sorts. I don't know if I'm allowed to bring this up now.
Absolutely.
I had said to you, because we know that he's promoting and he's been out. Let Irsay's band play a couple of songs up there.
I would love it. You know,
that would be Wanchik. That would be Mills. Sometimes, I guess, Stephen Stills, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Arnoff has been playing drums for him, and then you got Jim at the lead. Have you asked them that maybe they could come out and do 2 songs up there?
We haven't asked them. You know, I
want me to right now.
But
hey, Jim, would you like to open up the Carb Day show? Where are you, Jim Irsay? Somebody asked Jim Irsay if he would like to do that right now.
And we might even be able to make it easier. Maybe we call Kings of Chaos and say, hey, let's do 2 songs and let Jim come in and sing and play some guitar.
Well, you could do
right?
knocking on Heaven's door. Right. I'm sure they could all do that.
Right. So no, you and I did talk about that and how much fun that could be to have somebody. How surprising that could be. No longer. If Jim Irsay walked out on stage.
Oh wait, was I not supposed to bring that up?
Oh no, it's fine. We haven't talked to him.
See, that's what happens. You give me alcohol in here. I'm just going to start just rattling off everything.
But you know, obviously he's busy right now trying to figure out what the lineup's going to look like. But
he's got plenty of time.
I was going to say by May 28th or May 27th we may be in good shape.
So have you asked? You haven't asked him or not?
No, we have not asked him.
Can I officially ask him right here? Would you mind?
You already just did. I think if we heard from the Colts that he was interested, we'd certainly love to do. And we know he's a huge music guy. When the Rolling Stones came, we made some space in the Pagoda available for Mr. Irsay and all his folks to come because he so badly wanted to be there for that concert. The guy loves music, and obviously he can play and is a leader here in this community. It would be pretty interesting to see him walk out on stage.
All right, Jim. If you're listening out there, somebody over the Colts complex, we know how much you're promoting the band and your collection. I think this would be outstanding. You just go on, you lead, you get Wanchik's hanging around down in Stanford. You get all your guys out there, do a couple of songs to lead. I think that would make it outstanding. So we are officially asking you right now, Jim Irsay, bring your band to Carb Day, and we'll let you get out there on stage and do a little something for everybody.
It would be fun to see Jim Irsay out there.
Agreed.
And if that doesn't work, maybe we can set you up in pit lane and you can play in between the runs for the pit stop competition.
Come out to Pagoda Plaza and just kind of hang out with all of us there. You got time to hang around?
There's a lot of beer. There's a lot of beer in that cooler.
Good. So I'm going to crack another one right here too. Speedway President Doug Boles. Any questions for him? YouTube Live or 239-1070. Go ahead and dial us up. We'll get back with you coming up next.
If you love listening to our shows, then you've got to follow us on our social media. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search 1075 The Fan and share your opinions with us on our posts.
Hey, it's JMV for the absolute best in realty. Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232. That's 317-755-4232. Online, markdietl.com, markdietel.com today. The absolute best and the only person I would trust if I were putting my house on the market, and the only agent I recommend. Mark Dietl will guarantee multiple offers in 3 days for full market value, or he's going to list it for free. Don and Joyce at Indianapolis. We were ready to move into our new dream house, but needed to sell our current home quickly and at a great price to make it all work. Enter Mark Dietl. Like he promises, he got us multiple offers in days for $16,000 over the list price. That's Mark Dietl. Mark Dietl Realty, 317-755-4232. That number, 317-755-4232. Tell him I sent you online, markdietl.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Every dribble, every pass, and every bucket, all in the palm of your hand. Because now you can sign up and bet. No strings attached with BetRivers Sportsbook app featuring award-winning customer service. Live in-game bets, player props, and instant betting bucket to bucket. Don't miss out on all the big games. Get in the action with BetRivers Sportsbook app.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
You probably get a lot of reminders. How about one for your car insurance? Safe Auto keeps you safe behind the wheel with affordable state minimum coverage and low down payments. Get a free quote for state minimum coverage 24/7 by going to safeauto.com or call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Within 3 minutes, we can get you a quote to keep you legal on the road for less. Good thing we're here to remind you. Play it safe.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens. Spring's upon us and the weather is changing for the better. Fresh shipments of nursery stock are arriving daily and lots of new pottery too, and spring decor is filling up Miss Mary's gift shop. It's time to look at pansies and all that spring has to offer at Sundown Gardens. Sundown Gardens is looking forward to making your home beautiful this spring. Swing into spring and stop in and see Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, just west of Grand Park, or sundowngardens.com.
The Fed has raised rates.
But there's still time to lock in Golden Oak Lending's low 2.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With home values at all-time highs and our low rates, you can pull more cash out of your home.
Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937, 2.875% fixed, 3.976% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson from Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus. Save 50% on Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern, Lazy Boy, and Flex Steel with extra discounts for cash. Low price guarantee with up to 4 years interest-free financing on every mattress by Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster. All outdoor furniture by Berlin Gardens and Collywood is 30% off. Sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Hey, Johnny, for Aurora Sleep Clinic, I struggle with sleep. I did. I was snoring way too much, and for so many years could do nothing about it. Then a couple of former Hoosier basketballers, Brian Evans and Dr. Steve Green, approached me and said, hey, we got something that can help you get better bed rest. And I said, lay it on me. They said, it's a mouthpiece. You wear it at night. It's simple. It's affordable. It is easy. Try it out and see what you think. And I did, and it works. So if you struggle with snoring, and is taking away from having a great night's sleep, check out the Aurora Sleep Clinic today. StopYourSnoreNow.com. Get that consultation and see if this works for you. It did for me. Let's see if it works for you. StopYourSnoreNow.com today.
When a health system treats patients with the very best in medical care and compassion, it needs a rare kind of staff. That's why Eskenazi Health never stops looking for professionals who understand that technology is most effective when paired with a genuine human touch. If you are a nurse,
a social worker,
or another professional interested in a career with us, visit eskenazihealth.edu/careers. Eskenazi Health, one of Becker's 150 great places to work in healthcare.
Jake Query here. Recently I returned to college to finish my degree, and I encourage you to join me. Whether you're like me and life simply got in the way, or you never went to college at all, Indiana offers financial assistance for those ready to move forward. If I can do it, I know you can too. If you're looking for a better job or doing it for your family, Indiana has grants to pay for over 150 certificates in high-wage industries. You're sure to find a tuition-free option that fits you. To apply, visit nextleveljobs.org today. Sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. That's nextleveljobs.org. Friday on Kevin and Query, Sweet 16 rolls on. Taking a look back at the Thursday night games, previewing Purdue, and Rake and Joe Wiz join us. Fun begins at 7, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
Collect them, trade them, or just enjoy them.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Rick Springfield's going to be a part of Carb Day coming up. Carb Day 2022. Welcome back to the show. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio with us. Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield and Morris Day and the Time. And Jim Irsay, I'm waiting on your response here. How about your band out there as well? I'm just wondering, you, Wanchek, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Mike Mills, Arnoff. I mean, they had that.
Pretty good lineup.
They were out in L.A. 2 weeks ago, I think, and Gibbons was with them out there.
That's a pretty good gig.
So, Jim, we're waiting on your response. We can promote it, talk it up, and people will love it out there. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio. So Springfield is pretty much on board with this from the get-go, right?
From the very beginning, he was on board trying to pull this one together. So like I said, we knew that was going to fit somewhere. It's just a matter of where. And then when we had the opportunity really to talk to the Kings of Chaos guys and figure out who it was, our biggest challenge with that was we didn't want to just say, okay, we'll take Kings of Chaos and not have any idea who they were going to bring. So we spent a lot of time just making sure that they could guarantee the certain artists that were going to be there, and that's we landed with the four that they have there. And then Morris Day and the Time, actually, we'd invited them, and they had a conflict, and so then we started talking to other bands. Like we talked to Cameo, and we said Sheila E. and some really interesting. Some interesting folks.
I love Cameo and Sheila E., by the way.
They would have been a lot of fun, right? And then we got a call back from their agent that said, hey, look, Morris's thing just canceled, and he'd love to come do Carb Day. And we were like, okay, bring him on. We'd love to have him.
Yeah, like I said, they played a private function for now. I found that out. Damar Services is what it was.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Maybe a couple, 3 weeks ago or so, and played a local live event. Steve had told me he actually produced that. They are still really good.
And that's what everybody says. Their live show is supposed to be unbelievable, so we can't wait to have that. It'd be a great way to kick things off, get it warmed up, and then we'll roll into Rick's, as you say, 15 songs that everyone knows.
Easy.
And then
easy.
And then Kings of Chaos. And like I said, I've seen them, and it is an amazing party. And I was skeptical when I went to see them. And
where did you see them?
I actually saw them in Las Vegas.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was great. I saw them in Las Vegas at the Wynn, and they were fantastic.
Was it this particular group?
It was the core group, so Sorum and his gang, but they had Billy Gibbons as part of it. Yeah. They had, I'm trying to think who else they had, and then Sebastian Bach was part of that one as well. But Lita and Jack Blades and John Waite are different.
Well, Jack Blades was here with Night Ranger and Anderson about a month ago, and then John Waite was here at the State Fair last summer as well. And I talked to John Waite. He is still good. I'm assuming, will they do with John Waite solo and baby stuff as well?
They'll do both solo and babies, and what else? He was Bad English. Is that the other place?
Right.
So they've done that. So we, in our release, and I don't have any of it memorized, there was sort of a sample set list to give everybody an idea of just the songs that they would know. And then, of course, you get the Guns N' Roses songs as well, along with that piece. You get some rap music, and you get a little Poison in there. So all those guys had the connection to all those bands.
So, Lita Ford was on with me when I was at the other station. This is years ago. And she claimed that she lived on a Caribbean island with her husband and her family, and they didn't wear clothes. Well, awesome.
You got to wear clothes at the Speedway. I know some people try to take a lot off. But you do have to wear clothes at the Speedway.
I think she claimed that they were nudists. I thought, hey, cool, whatever.
Well,
so
she'll probably wear clothes on stage.
Now, Lita Ford will do "Kiss Me Deadly." There's no doubt. Will she do Runaway songs?
She'll do Cherry Bomb. Right?
Yeah,
from Runaway. So you get some Runaway songs.
Jerry Curry, Joan Jett, back in the day with the Runaways. Well, could they do like the Ozzy Osbourne, Lita Ford, "Close Your Eyes Forever" thing?
That's a really interesting one. I don't know what that'll be. So the interesting thing about in talking to the Kings of Chaos folks is when they start talking about the different artists that they can bring. Part of the challenge of even lining that up is they want to make sure that they can all rehearse together. So it's not just the schedule of coming to Indianapolis, but how can they all rehearse together before they get there, so that we're not getting a rehearsal show, we're getting a proper show. So that we, in fact, one of the gals and you and I talked about this. We thought maybe Ann Wilson would be cool from Heart, and the timing just didn't work out there. And getting Lita, I think it's just as good.
So is it going to be the stage same setup as always?
So no, that's the other change this year. Yeah. So everybody knows, or most people know, that we, for this year, have moved the Firestone Legends Day concert to downtown over here at the TCU Amphitheater, which is right on White River. It's a beautiful venue if you haven't been there. Great place for music. So that's going to happen on Saturday. And a lot of everybody will understand this. In a world where it's really challenging to find labor and to get all the product and everything you need, we felt like it was really important that we build just one stage instead of trying to build two. And historically, you build that Carb Day stage for Carb Day and for Legends Day, and then on Sunday, we've got our Snake Pit stage. So what we've done is we're going to consolidate everything in the Snake Pit on one stage. So we'll do Carb Day in there, on Friday, and then Saturday we'll clean it up and we'll make the adjustments we have to the stage for adding the pyro and the things that you need to do for Snake Pit. So for this year, we're down to one stage. We just want to make sure we can deliver a show, right? We don't want to have two half-built stages because we couldn't get enough people or the steel wasn't available.
It's Speedway President Doug Boles. You got time?
Absolutely.
I got Mike Chappell, top of the hour. You want to just hang with me until the end of the show?
There's beer in that cooler.
We've got beer in the cooler here. Ice cold Miller Lite, so we're good to go. We'll take a break. Doug's going to hang around. We'll talk to Mike Chappell about the Colts and Matt Ryan and more coming up at the top of the hour. Doug rejoins us coming up here at about 5:30 or so. And until that point in time, we'll enjoy drinking beer with you on this Thursday with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
This is Ryan Newman for Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. When I'm not racing around at 200 miles an hour, I like to take things a little slower. But even here at the lake, I'm still driven to save lives. So if you're like me and you enjoy fishing or hunting, say yes to being an organ donor when you get your license online or when you renew your driver's license. Learn more and sign up today to be an organ donor at donatelifeindiana.org.
Hi, this is Ted Bishop, PGA General Manager at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin. This year, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary of being in business, and I want to personally invite you to become a member at our course, which was selected as the 2021 Indiana Golf Course of the Year. We are offering a limited number of 2-year Monday through Friday memberships starting at $199 a year. Yep, you heard it right, only $199 a year, and you can upgrade to a 7-day membership for only $50 per year more. If you ride, you just pay for the golf cart, and if you walk, there's no additional charge. These memberships will expire on December 31 of 2023. Legends has 27 Fazio Design Championship holes. Our regular players will tell you that we are known for great playing conditions and a friendly staff. Join the Legends Golf Club today. Don't delay, because limited spots are available. Call 317-736-8186 or buy online at thelegendsgolfclub.com. And I'll see you on the first tee.
Indianapolis, at Geico, our employees' careers matter to us.
An inclusive office matters to me.
We hear you, Kelly. Geico has employee resource groups that bring people from all communities together because diversity matters. Your hopes and dreams matter. Even giving you a little space for your lucky bobblehead matters.
Want to work at Geico, Randy? He says yes.
When it comes to your career, what matters to you matters to Geico. We're now hiring claims, sales, and customer service agents. Apply today at careers.geico.com/Indianapolis and let's get growing.
Hey, Johnny, for Forum Credit Union. Forum Credit Union wants to tell you, and I want you for the month of March to remember this, not a lot of days remaining, but if you're of the age of 17 to 24, you got your own business or plan to start your own business, my friends at Forum Credit Union can give you a business boost here of $3,000 with their Entrepreneur of the Year program. So young entrepreneurs can submit their business details anytime during the month of March for their chance to be named Forum's 2022 Young Entrepreneur of the Year. All the details at a branch location near you or online, forumcu.com today.
Could taxes be dragging down your portfolio? Join Edelman Financial Engines on Tuesday, March 29th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern for our brand new virtual event, 6 Tax Smart Investing Strategies. We'll show you why tax-efficient investing makes a big difference and how to make it part of your overall wealth management plan. Register now at planefe.com to learn about tax drag and how you can help overcome it. See how tax loss harvesting can help you offset capital gains and find out how to make the most of tax-advantaged accounts for retirement, education, and healthcare. Register now and you'll also get a free retirement review with one of our experienced wealth planners. That's an $800 value. Join us for this special virtual event, 6 Tax Smart Investing Strategies on Tuesday, March 29th at 3 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern. And you'll get a free retirement review by registering now at planefe.com. That's planefe.com. Edelman Financial Engines. From here forward.
BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks, unleashes the spirit of Las Vegas with BetMGM rewards. Every time you make a wager at BetMGM, you can earn BetMGM rewards points that you can redeem for online bonus credits like free bets and risk-free tokens. Planning a trip to Vegas? You can also convert your BetMGM points into MGM rewards points that you can use towards dining, shows, and hotel rooms at over 20 MGM Resorts properties located on the Las Vegas Strip and nationwide. BetMGM Rewards is sports betting's premier loyalty program, featuring exclusive offers, incredible experiences, and valuable perks when you wager on the BetMGM app. Sign up with BetMGM or log on today to get an even bigger piece of the action with BetMGM Rewards. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Indiana only. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Let me have a Diablo sandwich of Dr. Pepper. Make it fast. I'm in a damn hurry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
This is John Wade, everybody. And if we got to get this played. Vision Quest, Loudon Swain's climbing the pegboard in the wrestling room right here. John Wade's going to be a part of the Kings of Chaos. Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield and Morris Day and the Time. This year's Miller Lite Carb Day going down May the 27th. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio. We're drinking beer, having fun. He rejoins us coming up in a couple of minutes. So we'll get back to Doug. Again, YouTube Live if you want to get inside the lounge. Facebook Live as well. Or 239-1070 if you have anything you want to ask Doug or me a little bit later on. Go ahead and call up and we'll put you in line and we'll do so coming up a little bit later on in the hour. But on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline right now from CBS 4 and Fox 59, Mike Chappell joins us. All right, it's a week where dreams are coming true with Beach Grove and Coach Renfro and that team for the first time going to the state title game. Can the Beach Grove Walmart stay out of the headlines for 5 minutes during this incredible time for the community? Can we just have that?
Apparently not. Yeah, we need to put a wall around that place and just, I'm guessing this was another Southport person that came in. They're the ones that screwed them up a few years ago. So let's keep those Southport,
stinking Perry Township. Come on, you put all the blame on Perry Township. I got it.
I know. Yeah, I tell you, I saw that, and I'm thinking, okay, Beach Grove Chamber of Commerce doesn't like to see that. So hopefully the boys basketball team can kind of, overshadow all that by doing something special on Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. You think about that. Everything, it's just an awesome special week leading up to that 3A title game and then that.
It's funny. I remember in the years escaped me, but I remember following the girls team with Katie Gerald's.
Yeah.
When they won the state. And I tell you, I've mentioned this before, one of the greatest athletic performances that I've seen is when they played, I think it was semi-state over at Southport. A couple of buddies and I went over there, and they're down 3 to whoever it was, Benton Central or whoever, I can't remember who it was. And she gets fouled, like with no time on the clock, and they're down 3, and she's shooting a 3, and she steps up there, I think by herself, and has to hit 3 free throws to send the game into overtime. So, and they did, and then they go and they win, and then she's best basketball. So, kudos to her, and she's going on to a great coaching career. So, we've had a few snippets. Gary Raker, All-Star.
I know Gary Raker. Yep.
I think the first sectional might have been in '67, I think, with Glenn Young, and I believe they beat Hal the first game in a regional, and then Glenn Young was diabetic and either didn't play or was really weak, and they lost to, I think it was Mike Price and Tech. But it's few and far between, so Renfro's really got them going. I think it's, 3 or 4 sections in a row, and now they're where they've never been before as far as, the state. So good for them, and hope they follow through.
I know. You got that. You got that Italian place over there. You got the Beach Grove Bowling Alley.
Napoli's.
Napoli's is legit.
Yeah, we got a White Castle at Beach Grove, too.
You have a White Castle? Where is that? Oh, that's on the other side, though. Is the other side Beech Grove? The other side of, and I guess it might. Would you not? Is there some point where you say, you know what, Beech Grove is none on the other side of 465?
Yeah,
that's the south side of Indy's problem.
That's where we separate ourselves from Walmart. We're on the good side of 465, and then you got stuff. Of course, the problem is everything is building south of 465. But hey, we're still here, and you know.
Once you get to juicy seafood, it's no longer Beech Grove, is what you're trying to tell me.
I've never been there yet. Is it any good? I've not.
Well, let me tell you, I'm Mr. Carryout here because eating like that would. I have to have a home game I'm playing. I can't play an away game eating that type of stuff. But I guess it might depend on. I got it on the early stages back in the day, so I would give it. I'd give it another chance. I'm a big seafood guy too.
That used to be one of the. We got a Long John Silver's too, so we got all the fine fish places. But that juicy fish, whatever, they used to be one of the last Ponderosas, and those things are going by the way of Bob Evans.
Ponderosa. The Ponderosa was the absolute best. That Ponderosa, I used to go to the one in Bloomington on South Walnut all the time. It was spectacular, and then the one in Mooresville was equally as spectacular. Back
we had one in Muncie at Ball State when we were going to Ball State, and every Friday they had was it a sirloin meal or it was I don't know, $5.94 or whatever. Really cheap. We'd go there and eat 6 of the rolls you got for free, and it was just a great. And then Saturday we had the $4.95 medium Pizza King.
Yeah.
So we had the routine down pretty good at Ball State.
All right. So really, I mean, wide receiving wise, Chris Ballard needs somebody kind of like Ocean Air. Are they going to end up settling for Long John Silver's here or what?
I don't know. He does. I'm convinced he does this just to tease us and to.
He thinks one of these days this is not going to be funny, though. I mean, I know he can laugh it off with Pat all he wants. One of these days, that's not going to be funny.
They entered this offseason with, 5 boxes, 6 boxes that they had to check. And we can argue the priorities, but they probably checked off the 2 biggest ones with quarterback and pass rush. They had to get quarterback fixed because if they didn't, nothing else really mattered. They got that done. I think we're going to see Ryan here for, 3 years, 4 years, maybe. That third year, if he's what they think they are, what they hope he is for these 2 years, and they want to try to extend that, he's going to be pretty expensive for that third year, but we'll see. And pass rush, you got Ngakwe, but boy, you've still got, however you want to prioritize, left tackle, Matt Pryor, I guess he's going to get the first shot, but I hope they have more competition and someone better to maybe take that job away. Receiver, tight end, and to get Ngakwe, they had to diminish their cornerback. So I really like what they've done. And people who bitch and moan that they don't spend money, they don't use cap space, well, that's wrong. It's just wrong. Matt Ryan's costed them $54 million guaranteed. Ngakwe's $13. Quentin Nelson's going to cost them, Beach Crow's running budget. So they do pay. And last year, again, people look, they do extensions for Leonard and Braden Smith and Nyheim Hines, and that counts. Sometimes they spend money on guys you don't agree with, but spending that kind of money for your own is no different than spending it on somebody else. It's spending. So we'll see. But if they come out of this draft in April, and we're still talking about receivers, and they're going to draft one, I hope it's one high, but I still think they need a veteran guy. And if they bring back T.Y. Hilton, that's fine. But he's got to be your 3. Gosh, I just think they need a 2 so bad. I'd love it to be a 1 and then make Michael Pittman your 2, but that's not going to happen with what's left out there. So we'll see, but they've still got work to do.
Was that cryptic tweet sent a couple of days ago by T.Y. Hilton What
was that about?
Mean anything? Because I haven't heard anything about it, nor have I heard there was any interest going on. I wish I knew. I don't know what that was about.
He whether he's just kind of poking people, I don't know. All I know is every time that whether we get Chris or he was on McAfee the other day, and he's always talking about TY can still play, and that's fine. I'm not opposed to. I was pretty much in favor of it last year. What was it? 1 year for $8 or $10 million, whatever it was. If you bring him back this year, that's fine, but it would have to be with TY totally understanding that he's one of the guys. He's down the list. He's one of the guys, and boy, it's got to be on your dime. It's got to be, the lower run of what veterans are going to get. So, again, if they re-sign him, to me, that just doesn't do a lot to addressing the needs. You still need, to me, a veteran. You still need a draft pick that can step in and play. Not that, boy, in 2 years we think this guy can be pretty good. You need guys now. Losing Zach Pascal, you hate to see that because he's been so good, but they've asked him to be really more than probably what he is. They've got to upgrade the position. Or what are you doing bringing in Matt Ryan if you don't upgrade the people around it?
Exactly. And I know that they got off to a slower start because they were still searching for their quarterback. But that it didn't mean it's any less important, and it's even more so because you have a guy. I talked to him a couple of days ago, and I mentioned, two things that I'm looking for is they have to, and this is on Frank and Marcus Brady right here. I mean, you got to find a way where you can keep on the field and get the most out of number 21. I mean, he has been a Rubik's Cube of sorts, and that will help your situation immensely when you're able to do that. So that is a have to. But at the same time, you got to get this 37-year-old quarterback, you got to get him some weapons. And I know that we're talking about late in the game and free agency or whatever, and this is something that Chris has been solidly against. Certainly we know the path he has taken, but this is a have to, Mike.
Yeah, and I'm not saying all in have to, but because, again, this could be a couple of years or a 3-year thing with Ryan. We'll see. But one of the biggest detriments of last year with the way the Wentz didn't work is you wasted a pretty good year in other areas. I mean, you wasted one of the best seasons by a running back, Colt or otherwise. I mean, his season was incredible, and you're watching. So that's you just can't keep waiting and say, boy, in a couple of years. No, you got to. I'm not saying, push everything in like, Jim Irsay with the chips are all in, which that means whatever it means. But they've made bold moves with trading for Ngakoue and trading for Matt Ryan and bringing back a few of their own, which they can still bring back guys. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Reed come back. I wouldn't mind seeing Eric Fisher come back. I think Fisher will be better this year for a lot of reasons. But you just look at the weapons and tight end is really needy. It really isn't, and there's not a lot out there now. There just really isn't. And receiver, you've got Pittman and then who? I mean, you don't know what you can expect or should expect from Paris Campbell. You can't expect really anything. A great talent, and when he plays very well. But we've been through the missed time and the injuries, and then you got Michael Strawn, who didn't get on the field at all, I don't think, last year. And the other guys just show you a little burst, which is fine. And you've got to develop young guys, but my goodness, you've got to have some more help. There needs to be 2 receivers that play in September that aren't here yet. And I'm not talking TY. I'm talking elsewhere. A veteran and a draft pick, and you just can't expect the running game to do all that. And mix Nyheim Hines in more. Finally, figure out how to get him really involved. And I'd really like to know, and from more offensive minds, better minds than me, is how much of Hines' drop off last year in the past game was. I can't believe it was game planned that way. How much of it was the quarterback just not taking the check down, not taking that and looking for the hero ball. So we've talked for several years about, boy, they got to get Nyheim Hines more involved, and they've agreed. And last year they just didn't do it. And boy, you see what this guy can do with the ball in his hands. You know, I'm not one of those in favor of making him a receiver and do occasionally a running back.
Easy. You're going to be like Chris Ballard and shoot down another one of my theories here.
Yeah. So that's you finally got off to Quentin Nelson going to left tackle. Now you want Nyheim Hines to be you want him to be Brandon Stokely. Is what
no wonder people think I'm a huge dumbass. Seriously, I just bring this stuff up all the time.
But see, you can be a big dumbass, and you may well be. So. I can't. I'm not going to the mats with you on that one because you may well be a dumbass.
I may be, but you have to find a way. Here's part of the problem too. He was 21 was off the field a lot last year too. I mean, I know that we got to figure out how to get in the ball, but you also have to figure out how to maximize his moments in the play and on the field while also keeping the biggest offensive threat on your team out there, because even when he's not handed the ball, you got a defense that's still thinking about he just may be handed the ball.
Yeah, I agree. And when they finally went to Jonathan Taylor's going to get his 20 or 25 carries, and that sort of took Hines out of the run game, put a lot of it. But so maybe in those cases you do make him more of a slot guy, but he has shown value as a running back. They just had a really hard time mixing the two, and he is just too good of a talent, too big of a game breaker to not get involved. To where maybe some games he's got 3 or 4 touches. That's not good enough, and if that's on Frank Reich and Marcus Brady, then so be it. They've got to get it. This game's all about, one, having playmakers, and two, maximize your strengths and stay away from your weaknesses. And when you don't get more from Nyheim Hines, you sign him to an extension for a reason. So because you think he's one of those players. And remember when we talked to Chris Ballard when the season was over, he said when he mentioned playmakers, it was Taylor, Pittman, and Hines. So they know that they've just got to do a better job of following through and getting the guy more involved.
Yeah, and to me, you agree with me on that? I know he has to come off the field occasionally, but the more you keep Taylor on the field, even if he's just being a decoy, to me, the better your offense is going to be situationally.
Yeah, and I mean, boys, and especially the last couple of years with what you've had at receiver. It's not like you're putting it's not like you're putting Cincinnati Bengals receiving core out there, their top 3 guys. You've not had that level of receiver. So perhaps they should have been more of Hines on the field in that role that you'd love him to see all the time. So it's what they've got to do. And again, I'll go back to what I said. If you're going to make the commitment and investment on Matt Ryan, this isn't bringing in Marcus Mariota and say, okay, let's see if we can just not embarrass ourselves this year. Let's try to be competitive. This is a case of all of a sudden they go from being you have absolutely no idea what to expect out of these guys, none, to now Matt Ryan gives you hope. He gives you hope and a reason to believe that you can do something. I was talking to somebody, and all these national guys do the who are the top teams in the AFC and the top 6-7 teams, and the Colts aren't involved. They're never mentioned. But that doesn't matter. All you have to be is competitive in the division. All you have to do is compete with Tennessee.
And that's their feeling. That was their feeling in making this move was the first leg of this is to win the AFC South, because to me, the logic, Mike, is that's the only way you're going to get to the postseason with the way the AFC stacked up.
Right, and if you win the AFC South, you're one of the top 4 teams. You just are, because you get a home playoff game, and as much as those last 2 games scarred everybody about how they looked at this team and all of a sudden it was trash, there were so many really good moments last year, and if they can bring in a player or two, this roster will be better. than it was last year. And they didn't luck into beating Buffalo to death last year. They didn't. They played well. New England, and they were right there with Tampa. So they were right there with teams. They really were. And that's why I say you don't have to be up there with Kansas City and maybe Denver, whomever you want to put up to the top 3 or 4 teams. You just have to win your division. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that a wild card may be tough to come out of the division because of how strong the conference is. Win your division, and Tennessee. It's still hard to believe that Tennessee was the number 1 seed last year. It really is. That's a fantastic job by those guys. But there's no reason that this team shouldn't be on par with the Titans and make a few more moves and do this. And that's step 1: win the division, home playoff game, and then roll the dice.
The Titans feel, or I should say, because the Colts moved on, but how the Colts and the fans felt about Wentz. Titans fans now are very skeptical about their quarterback, but the Titans went out and they got Austin Hooper. The Titans went out and brought in Robert Woods. So the Titans understand what I've been trying to get Chris Ballard to understand. Give the guy that may not be a top shelf elite level quarterback some weapons and move on from there. They're doing that in the offseason.
Yeah, and the problem is, I'm sort of in his corner about not vastly overpaying. The Christian Kirk thing, it's just incredible that a guy with his resume got the kind of money he got. But that doesn't mean you can't overpay a little bit for somebody else. I see some of the contracts out there for some of the better tight ends who were available, 1 year for semi-reasonable money. I mean, reasonable is a very relative term these days. But even some receivers who have accomplished stuff, and not a number 1 guy, but it's not. It seems like you could have got a couple of these guys for reasonable money. Now maybe they simply didn't have these guys high regarded. I don't know, but the later you wait, yes, you get the much better affordable prices, but you're going to get a lesser player. You just are. That's just the way this free agency works. So, to some level, you have to trust what they're doing. But boy, when you look at what they've got at receiver, in tight end, let's not forget tight end, and what you can still get on the market. Jarvis Landry, people like that are still out there. Tight ends are it's really a thin group now.
Yep.
To think you can do that in the draft, it's not realistic in my mind.
Completely agree. It's Mike Chappell of CBS 4 and Fox 59, and a shout out to Beech Grove going for a state title coming up on Saturday.
I got to go check out my Walmart and see if I can get me a orange Beech Grove T-shirt, because I don't normally wear my I don't have orange in my wardrobe. So I got to go find a shirt.
And you've lived in Beech Grove forever. How do you not have orange in your wardrobe?
Yes. What does orange go with? I mean,
everything. Yeah.
No, nothing really. But so I'm a hoarder true and true, but I just don't wear my whatever orange I might have. I don't wear around the house or the city.
All right. Well, I'll come up with some more really unique, very original, and probably some really dumb ideas for you next week, and we'll see what happens. How about that?
Well, I tell you, if they win, I may be partying, so you may have another guest on Thursday.
I do want to see my Chapel party. I can't lie about that. I'd like to be witness to that.
That's like 2 beers. I mean, it's not like my party days are long since. I left it at Ball State on my overnighters with euchre and pool parties and all that.
Oh man, always good, buddy. I appreciate you.
I'll catch you next week.
Mike Chappell, CBS 4 and Fox 59. In studio, Speedway President Doug Boles. Carb Day was announced today. We'll jump back into that. Some of your questions as well at 239-1070 or at JMV 1070 on Twitter, Inside the Lounge via YouTube Live or Facebook Live. Speedway President Doug Boles rejoins us next.
Make the short trip to experience Antler Point Golf Course in Rushville, less than an hour from Indy. Give Antler Point in Rushville a swing. AntlerPointGolf.com. That's point with an E.
You probably get a lot of reminders. How about one for your car insurance? Safe Auto keeps you safe behind the wheel with affordable state minimum coverage and low down payments. Get a free quote for state minimum coverage 24/7 by going to safeauto.com or call 1-800-SAFE-AUTO. Within 3 minutes, we can get you a quote to keep you legal on the road for less. Good thing we're here to remind you. Play it safe.
Diamonds are April's birthstone, but any time is a good time for diamonds. And when you give the gift of diamonds, it's truly a thrill. Visit Shane Company for stunning gifts. Find jewelry that's so exquisite and beautiful, it'll take her breath away. We've designed gorgeous styles in every price range, including diamond earrings, necklaces, rings, and bracelets. Our diamonds are natural, and since no two are alike, your piece will be one of a kind, a symbol as unique as she is. Shane Company jewelry is crafted to the highest standards, set with diamonds we hand-select for beauty and hand-match for consistency. In fact, we make our jewelry with such care, we're able to offer a free lifetime warranty. Come in and chat with our friendly and knowledgeable team of non-commissioned jewelry consultants. We'll make it fun to find a diamond gift, something solely for her enjoyment that will last forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Jake Query here. Recently I returned to college to finish my degree, and I encourage you to join me. Whether you're like me and life simply got in the way, or you never went to college at all, Indiana offers financial assistance for those ready to move forward. If I can do it, I know you can too. If you're looking for a better job or doing it for your family, Indiana has grants to pay for over 150 certificates in high-wage industries. You're sure to find a tuition-free option that fits you. To apply, visit nextleveljobs.org today. Sponsored by the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. That's nextleveljobs.org.
Hey, John here for PAI. If you want your real growing hair again, it is that easy. PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com. It's your real growing hair, and it works. WeGrowHairIndy.com or 888-724-5129. That private consultation with Darren Andrews today.
Denny Smith here for Sundown Gardens. Spring's upon us and the weather is changing for the better. Fresh shipments of nursery stock are arriving daily and lots of new pottery too, and spring decor is filling up Miss Mary's gift shop. It's time to look at pansies and all that spring has to offer at Sundown Gardens. Sundown Gardens is looking forward to making your home beautiful this spring. Swing into spring and stop in and see Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, just west of Grand Park, or sundowngardens.com.
The Ride with JMV.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, talentless, and I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Thank you very much, sir. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Carb Day 2022 is announced. This will be your opener. Unless this will be your opener. Morris Day of the Time. This is Jungle Love. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio. So you got Morris Day and the Time. You got Rick Springfield and Kings of Chaos, which is a super group that has a lot of notables from bands, solo artists, all kind of in the mix. And Doug rejoins us right now. People are going to dig it too, and we're trying to add to it. I don't think there's anything wrong with trying to nudge and add a little bit here.
No, especially with a little local flavor, right? That's a pretty good idea.
I think I had, actually, when I was talking to Mike Chappell just now, I was texting back and forth with some folks that seem to think that that's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea.
And the idea is to get Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay has been involved with the band, and he's been here and then around the U.S. I think in D.C., he was in Southern California for the Super Bowl, and then recently as well, he's been in Nashville with this band, and our idea was to bring Jim Irsay's band out for Carb Day as well. So,
and I don't think we've ever had 4 artists on Miller Lite Carb Day, so that could be pretty cool. And like we said in a couple segments ago, even if he can't get all the band together, if we can get Jim there, maybe we convince Kings of Chaos that he goes and does a couple songs with those guys.
I think that'd be great.
Yeah, I do too.
Fire up a little knocking on heaven's door, something like that.
100%.
So I think that'd be awesome. I think people would absolutely love that. So when are tickets going to be available?
So tickets are available now. In fact, I just got a text from one of our ticketing guys who said, we've had a really good day. And I know one of the things that's always good about announcing this is it just reminds people that race day, carb day, all that's around the corner. We're only 66 days out from the 106 running the Indy 500, so it's kind of it's kind of an important deal, and then it reminds people and gets them going. So tickets are on sale right now. They're cheaper now than they're going to be if you buy them at the gate, so we try and convince everybody to get them a little ahead of time.
Yeah, Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield, Morris Day and the Time, and then we'll see if we can't nudge Jim Irsay's band or Jim Irsay out there to do a little something as well. The other thing we were talking about 2 years ago on Carb Day in May, you and I sat in here drinking our ice-cold Miller Lights, trying to mask the fact
that there was no Carb Day.
It sucked.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
And we were trying to mask that. We were put on a smiling face. Yep. I'm going to tell you, we are so far from that feeling coming up, and that's why I always say, I love all that you put together. I love the time and the effort. I love the fact that you kind of reach out and gauge what everybody would like. More so than anything else, the fact that we're all out there able to do that again. I don't care what happens. That's where it's special.
That's exactly right. I mean, I got an opportunity a couple nights ago to take my parents to the Eagles concert, and the biggest thing that struck me was just seeing 15,000 people together again in one location, and how much fun that was. And there's so much about being people that we want to interact with people. And when we've had to sort of isolate and then those special moments, especially those around Carb Day, the Indy 500, May, the things we do as Hoosiers, doing them without people is just no fun. Or not having Carb Day at all the last 2 years has been a challenge. So I can't wait, and I think people are just going to get out and have a blast. And I know Kings of Chaos, to a lot of people, they're like, who is that? But when you look at all the band members and the songs you're going to get to hear, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a party. I'm going to be out there joining everybody. I may take my tie off. It's going to be one of those. It's going to be one of those days.
You don't take your tie off in May?
I don't very rarely take my tie off in May, but I may have to on Carb Day this year.
And Kings of Chaos, by the way, Doug mentions that because it's a supergroup, and you guys have heard of supergroups before. Like in my day in the 80s, Asia was a mixture of notables from other bands that came together and made a couple of albums and songs that were very memorable. This is a supergroup, a rock supergroup of sorts, and the rotation will change. Here is the rotation of Kings of Chaos that will be on Carb Day. You have Sebastian Bach from Skid Row, Jack Blades of Night Ranger and Damn Yankees, John Waite, Bad English, The Babies, also his solo stuff. Lita Ford of the Runaways, Lita Ford solo, Matt Sorum of GNR, Velvet Revolver, Gilby Clarke, who played in GNR as well, Warren DeMartini of Rat, and James Lorenzo of Megadeth. So that is this rotation of these artists from other bands that will come together and play Carb Day.
Absolutely. And then what they end up doing is playing the songs of the bands that they're part of. So they are, it's a cover band, but in a way it's not, because it's really people that were in the band. So you just named two Guns N' Roses folks. That's almost more than they're in the actual Guns N' Roses touring part, right? So you get some GNR, you get all those four lead singers. It's gonna, and we may get Jim Irsay. Who knows?
No, I'm trying right now. I'm trying really hard. I'm thinking that's a fantastic idea.
So
it really will work for both sides, because Jim's wanting to promote this thing up like crazy right now. So.
Well, and he's obviously cares about our city and is a big music guy, and it would be fun. But that's the biggest thing for me always about Miller Lite Carb Day is it is about the Miller Lite and the Coors Light that's in your cooler, and watching practice and pit stop competition, and then hanging out and listening to some music together.
What was the first year you had to deal with Miller Lite Carb Day?
Well, for the first year that the Speedway ever really had it was in 1998, and people forget it was country music.
It was.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Well, then that's Legends Day now, but who was it back then?
That was like Sammy Kershaw and Lori Morgan and crazy stuff like that.
Lori Morgan, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Get a little something done for you.
And then in 2000, started to morph a little bit into the music, and we've been all over the map in music. Yeah. We've been 80s music, we've been 2000-ish music, and 90s music. And I know people are saying, hey, when are you going to get younger? When are you going to get younger? At some point, we'll get there. But right now, this is sort of the core of what Carb Day is.
Well, and before anybody says anything about getting younger, and I know we're talking about Carb Day specifically here, but you cannot get any younger than what you're doing on race day in the Snake Pit.
Now, the Snake Pit is 25,000 young adults under the age of 30 who...
And Martin Garrix globally is about as popular as anybody.
Wait, and then when you take Martin Garrix and you put him alongside Deadmau5 and Steve Aoki and Yellow Claw, and that is a huge, huge lineup.
So there's where your younger demographic is right there. My kid loves Dead Mouse, and that's the reason why we have mixing tables and boards and all that stuff too. I don't mind. I think Garrix is from, was he Dutch? I believe, is he from the Netherlands, something like that? But he is in Europe, no doubt, but globally is a superstar.
It's funny you mentioned that. So when we were thinking about 2021, and we knew that we were going to have a race with some percentage of people. And as we were early on, so about this time last year, maybe a little before, but in this basic same time last year, we knew we were going to have some sort of restrictions, and we started thinking about how do you do the music. And it was Garrix's team who reached out and said, look, we want to be there for Snake Pit, but we don't think we can do it this year because with international travel, we don't know where we were going to be. And that was one of the deciding factors, I think, for us when we started thinking about it. Let's just make sure that we do this right, and when we come back with music, we want to come back when everybody that wants to come can come to music. So last year, we obviously didn't have the infield. That was part of the deal we made with the mayor and the gang here to make sure that we kept everybody safe. But Martin Garrix was the first one really that reached out and said, even if you have music, I can't do it because I'm worried about international travel.
I forget when it was. Was it 3 years ago when Dead Mouse was out there? And I believe it was so stinking hot on race day that I think his system melted down.
You're right. He did have a system meltdown while he was out there.
I think so, because that was the day when it was upper 80s, I think.
It's crazy about May, right? You can have a day where it snows, 1992, or you can have days like that where it's plus 90 degrees. So you never know what you're going to get in May. It's Indiana for sure.
I know we're talking about Carb Day, Speedway President Doug Boles in studio, but Legends Day is also taking place, and there's a different wrinkle, a twist, if you will, to that, which has become commonplace and will reemerge again this year. The Saturday before race day, what's going on with that?
So the Firestone Legends Day has been something we've done for a long time. We started that concert in 2014. So the concert's going to move downtown from being out at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So that happened at the TCU Amphitheater on Saturday night, which I'm a little bit excited about because it'll be an opportunity for people to come downtown, check out the downtown Indianapolis, and leave a concert at nighttime instead of coming out to a concert at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's still going to take place. Dirks Bentley, Ashley something, I can't remember her name. I haven't quite memorized that, but we're gonna have some fun.
I will draw a blank. You can ask me most anything, but you'll be getting
Ashley
the young country.
McBride, I think,
the
in my head,
young country music category. That'll be trouble for
No,
me.
it should be. In fact, those tickets are almost sold out. So if people are going to want to go, they need to get to livenation.com to figure that out because those are about sold out. So we're moving that. We're going to do one stage this year where in the past we've done a stage inside Turn 4 that was Carb Day and Legends Day, and then we've built a Snake Pit stage in the Snake Pit. A lot of reasons. This year we're going to one stage instead of two. Labor, steel, a whole bunch of things. Trying to do two. Everything's a little bit different in this post-COVID world. And putting 3 concerts on the same location, the same place is a challenge, especially when Friday and Saturday together. By the time we got done with Carb Day and Legends Day in the past, that whole area where fans have been, the grass is pretty much gone. So then you'd have a third day, and if it rained between that Saturday and Sunday, you'd have a mud venue. So we've always done 2. And the other thing, an EDM stage is completely different from a normal stage, the pyro and the lighting and all they have to do. So we need some time to get it converted. So we can do that now with Carb Day there Friday, convert the venue on Saturday, and then on Sunday have the Snake Pit. But then Legends Day downtown, we're looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
So this is for you, and I have not. This has just been on my social. But last week, I did a 35-minute interview with Jamie Farr. 87-year-old actor, played Klinger on MASH and a variety of other things. And we were going over, MASH and his relationship with Chuck Barris and a lot of other things. And he springs on me that he was at the Indy 500 in 1975.
Wow.
And he talked about he was sitting where Sneva had that wreck, and a bunch of the stuff came up into the stands on him, too. He said, I was sitting right there, and he went into full detail. It was awesome to hear that particular. Not the crash wasn't awesome, but it was awesome to hear that from somebody like him in full detail going all the way back to 1975.
So if you Google that accident, Tom Sneva 1975 Indy 500 crash, it's amazing how close that race, the race car's in the catch fence, basically. And the Turn 2 VIP suites are right there, and you're literally just a handful of feet away from the racetrack. We're just getting ready to do one of my Behind the Bricks things that I do with the Speedway podcast about the Turn 2 suite. It's funny you mentioned that. And there are parts flying everywhere in that accident. So I'm sure he I'm sure he was dodging a few things.
The reason why I bring that up is I don't know when you start to make these announcements, but when do you solidify having these celebrities that show up?
We actually had a big celebrity meeting with our staff today to try and make sure we've got a grid that goes through everything, not just what you see on race day, but we've got honorary starters on practice days, a whole, who's going to give the trophies for the GMR Grand Prix, all of those pieces. So we went through those today. So those announcements start coming out in the next couple of weeks. I mean, next week we've got a couple cool announcements related to events that come out, and then you start seeing the celebrity announcements.
Yeah. So I've always thought normally it would come later in April and early May sometimes too.
Some of it depends on where we are. So we'll get celebrities that'll commit, and then it's just a matter of figuring out their travel and their hotels before we're really ready to make the announcement. Or some celebrities will say, you know what, I want to do that. I'm filming. I need to make sure that my filming's done. If my filming's done and I'll know by the end of April, then I'll commit. So there's a lot of reasons that we delay, and a lot of it is just the way you negotiate with somebody that you really want to be there, and you just need to hope that their schedule works out, so we wait until the last minute.
What does Roger Penske want out of all this?
Roger Penske wants an Indy 500 where 300,000+ people can walk in the gates, sit in their seats, and enjoy a normal race day. I mean, that's really where he is. His experience at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway over it's 50 years since he won his first 500 and 55-ish since he first started competing at the Speedway. His experience is really about what's going on in the racetrack, and he's now understanding that when you're a fan, the race is important, but it's all these other things that make the Indy 500 the event that it is. And so for him, he just wants people to walk in and go, this is the Speedway I love, this is the event that I love, and all the activities that are important to me are here. So he's been unbelievable. He's in the office in Indianapolis at least once a week. You almost talk to him every day. You get a phone call from him. If I got one right here, I'd say, excuse me, JMV, I got to take this call. First thing out of his mouth when he calls is that I catch it at a bad time, and I have yet to say, no, sir, I have to go.
You know what? I'm on with JMV right now. Can I call you back in 10 minutes?
I actually did a couple of years ago. I got my check it for Andretti colonoscopy. Sorry to talk about that while we're drinking beer. But that's important. If you're over 50,
yes,
man, get your colonoscopy. It's not as bad as you think. And I let him know the day before, hey, I'm getting that in the morning, so don't call me tomorrow. It's going to be a mess. So I do that. And Beth and I, my wife and I went shopping, and she tells me all these stories of all the things that I wanted to buy at the grocery store that I don't normally want to buy. And the phone rings at one time when I'm getting home, and it's Roger. And so she's like, you can't answer the phone. I was like, I'm going to answer the phone. So the first thing Beth did was get me a piece of paper to take notes. And my understanding from what Beth tells me is he must have said, did I catch you at a bad time? I said, no, I'm fine. I just got a colonoscopy. And I guess I told her when I hung up, his response to me was, well, that was probably more fun than talking with me. So, he's got a great sense of humor. He's an unbelievable person. He's just, so he's just wanting people to have a normal event.
That's awesome right there. All right, hang tight. We'll take another break. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio with us again. Miller Lite Carb Day is coming up, and it's on the 27th of May. Kings of Chaos, Rick Springfield, Morris Day and the Time, and I am out here right now urging Colts owner Jim Irsay to get the band together. His band that he's been playing with, Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Mike Mills, Mike Wanchik, Jenny Arnoff, Jim out there as well. I'm trying to add to your list of Carb Day bands. Tickets on sale right now. Miller Lite Carb Day, May the 27th. I'll be out there live as usual, getting the party back going to at Pagoda Plaza. It is going to be a blast. One final time with Speedway President Doug Boles in studio with us next.
If you love listening to our shows, then you've got to follow us on our social media. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Search 1075 The Fan and share your opinions with us on our posts.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. Credit card debt is increasing at record speed. That's great for the big banks and greedy credit card companies, but for the rest of us, it's getting harder and harder just to pay the bills. The good news is home values are skyrocketing and mortgage rates are still near historic lows. There's never been a better time for a cash-out refinance. Our average client received over $54,000 at closing with a simple cash-out refinance. Apply online today at thehomeloanexpert.com. NMLS number 1326241.
Every dribble, every pass, and every bucket, all in the palm of your hand. Because now you can sign up and bet. No strings attached with Bet River Sportsbook app featuring award-winning customer service. Live in-game bets, player props, and instant betting bucket to bucket. Don't miss out on all the big games. Get in the action with Bet River Sportsbook app.
Must be 21. Must be located in Indiana. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
If you're suffering every day with joint pain, stop and listen. You can get real, lasting relief now with natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. This is Kevin Bowen, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue with no surgery and no drugs. This is the relief you've been hoping for your aching hips, knees, shoulder, lower back. The unique protocols at QC Kinetics were created by a physician with years of study in regenerative medicine. They're treating patients every day in hundreds of clinics nationwide with remarkable success, life-changing results, and zero downtime. It's the new, better, smarter, non-surgical, non-invasive way to deal with joint pain. And yes, they're right here ready to help right now. So call for a free consultation and make this spring and summer your best ever with no joint pain holding you back. 463-235-7160. That's 463-235-7160.
Hey, Johnny, for CarX, your 14 Central Indiana locations to serve you. Joe Childers run CarX locations as well, making sure you remain spring road ready. Tires, we're talking brakes, fluid exchanges, the best in everything at your local CarX to help maintain your spring road readiness. 14 Central Indiana locations. There's one near you. To find it, log on, carx.com today.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/hire. That's ZipRecruiter.com/hire. ZipRecruiter.com/hire.
Hi, this is Ted Bishop, PGA General Manager at the Legends Golf Club in Franklin. This year, we are celebrating our 30th anniversary of being in business, and I want to personally invite you to become a member at our course, which was selected as the 2021 Indiana Golf Course of the Year. We are offering a limited number of 2-year Monday through Friday memberships starting at $199 a year. Yep, you heard it right, only $199 a year, and you can upgrade to a 7-day membership for only $50 per year more. If you ride, you just pay for the golf cart, and if you walk, there's no additional charge. These memberships will expire on December 31 of 2023. Legends has 27 Fazio Design Championship holes. Our regular players will tell you that we are known for great playing conditions and a friendly staff. Join the Legends Golf Club today. Don't delay, because limited spots are available. Call 317-736-8186 or buy online at thelegendsgolfclub.com. And I'll see you on the first tee.
JMV here. If you're having a problem with that main drain and sewage backing up into your home, let's get that taken care of, because that can be nasty. It will be nasty, but go with the best. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526, 83 or free. Ask for it, which means they're going to clear your main drain for $83, or the visit is free. 317-284-9526. Ask for 83 or free from LD Smith Plumbing. Make sure you also have 317-284-9526 handy in case of any plumbing emergency or any plumbing situation. Not going to find anybody better than Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. More info online today, ldsmithplumbing.com.
If you're serious about selling your home, call Mark Dietel and his team today at 317-755-4232 or online markdietel.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com today.
The Ride with JMV.
Hey, you gonna stare all day or you gonna buy something? I'm gonna stare all day.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
You'll take it. Damn Yankees right there. I'm sure it'll be a part of the The musical combination that's coming up on Miller Lite Carb Day. That's May the 27th. A part of Kings of Chaos. Jack Blades, Night Ranger, Damn Yankees. This bad boy will roll right here as well. Jack Blades, John Waite, Sebastian Bach, Lita Ford, Matt Sorum, among others involved. Kings of Chaos will lead Rick Springfield, Morris Day and the Time. That is Miller Lite Carb Day, May the 27th, out at IMS. Speedway President Doug Boles in studio. What's the reaction been, the response been since 10 a.m.?
Transparently, it's been mixed, right? Like it always is for Carb Day, because we, everybody's got their favorite music and what they want to listen to, and I get it, and I understand the feedback. But at the end of the day, we all end up showing up there and having a party because that's what what it's about. I just heard you open another Miller Lite, and that's really kind of what that Carb Day is about. And for me, it's a work day until the concert starts, and then I open up my own Miller Lite. When you did that, it reminded me of growing up. My parents had a pop machine. I won't say what brand it was. And my dad would come home every day, and if Kathy Barton's listening from Miller, I'm sorry about this, but he'd say, "Hey, can I get a Mr. Pibb?" And we would have a machine, and you put a quarter in it, and you could get your pops. And on the one side it was Mr. Pibb, but it was Miller Lite. And I just remember growing up, with my dad drinking Miller Lite, and how much fun. How much the brand is just a fun brand. I can't wait to get out there and have some fun with. Dad was a Mr. Pibb drinker. My dad was a Mr. Pibb drinker.
Oh man, the Pibb.
So he wasn't. It was Miller Lite that came out of the Mr. Pibb.
It was Pibb. I got you now.
So and I don't know if that was because he didn't want the kids to know, but when he's walking around with the can that says Miller Lite on it,
you can just walk over there, hit the Mr. Pibb button right there, and get one out for yourself right there. JMV at 1070thefan.com with Speedway President Doug Boles in studio. Tim asked this: please ask Doug, are there any plans to bring back some of the other events at the track? Motorcycles, planes, F1, any of that one of these days? I know you get this all the time, but tackle this again if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely, and thanks, Tim, for the question. You picked three things that are pretty quickly. I can tell you probably at least two of them likely aren't coming back. I mean, motorcycles is just a challenge for a lot of reasons. The biggest one is MotoGP's price tag is so high, and they have an opportunity to go to countries that pay for them. Airplanes, the Red Bull Air Race actually went away as an organization. It's restarted. It's going to need to really establish itself before we take a risk on it. Mm-hmm. It could come back, but likely not, just because the organization is not really established yet. Formula One, we'd love to have. Again, it's just a price tag piece. We are an FIA Grade 1 track, one of just two in the U.S. One of them's at COTA, one's at IMS. So if the economics worked out right and the dates worked out right,
Michael Andretti to talk you up a little bit.
Well, and if Michael could get a team, that'd make it even more sense. But definitely would love to have an F1 race back.
Hey, thanks for coming in studio. I always love having you in here. Thanks for bringing the ice cold Miller Lite in
pretty retro cooler that I brought back, right?
Well, retro cooler, and I still love, they're still going with the retro can, and I'm assuming they're always going to stick with that. That's the way to go right now.
Well, New Coke made a problem when they switched, so if Miller Lite just stays as Miller Lite, we're going to be in good shape.
Miller Lite Carb Day, May 27th, IMS, tickets on sale right now, correct?
They're on sale, IMS.com. Our ticket team says tickets are going great, so get them now because they get more expensive as you go, and I can't wait to hang out with you guys on Carb Day.
I cannot wait either. Jim Irsay, we're looking for you. We'll add you to the bill. Morris Day and the Time, Rick Springfield, Kings of Chaos, May the 27th. Tickets on sale now. Doug, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Cheers, everybody.
Tomorrow, Whiskey Business will be there with your chance to win stuff. I'll explain. 3 o'clock, Southport and Emerson tomorrow at 3.
There's never been a better time